old to be chipping in.
Yeah, good for Robert Plant.
They got some wild-ass hair for a 76-year-old.
He does, doesn't he?
Unusual attack by bees in a French town has left 24 people injured, including 3 in critical condition, according to local authorities. I did see on my Instagram where local TV station popped up, killer bees are back in Alabama this summer. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Yep. Well, look out for Tyler. He's already getting eaten by spiders.
Now, if there's enough of them, they all can be killer bees.
That's true. That's a good point.
Firefighters and medical teams were rushed to the scene to treat the victims while police set up a security perimeter until the bees stopped their attack. 3 people in critical condition were evacuated to a local hospital. They said one 78-year-old was stung 25 times. I would think that would be the death knell, wouldn't you?
Yeah, is that the 78-year-old Tyler? Is that him in the photo?
No, this is an artistic rendering.
What it might look like?
It might look like if you were to fight off a drive-by of bees.
I'm taking the bees in that artistic rendering. I think they got the old man there.
Man, I had a wasp, knock on wood. I've never been stung by a wasp, but I had one land on my hand randomly yesterday at the when I was pumping gas.
What'd you do? You just very still?
Yeah, it just flew off. But I had my car door open. I was a little nervous it was going to fly into the car. That's one of the worst things when you have a bee or wasp in the car.
It happened to me, and I can give you the day it happened, guys. Do y'all remember last summer when we went down for the music festival?
Yeah.
With Carpenter, and we did our show from there? I was driving back roads after you get off in Georgiana. You know what I'm talking about? All right. I'm driving back roads, so I got the windows down and the sunroof open and the music popping, and a yellow jacket flew in. And I immediately killed it with a napkin, and I wrapped the napkin up, and I was going to try to just dump the yellow jacket out. And as I did that, it stung me. I still had some life in the old body yet. And it stung me, and that thing
went down with a fight, man.
It did. My finger throbbed the rest of that drive down. It finally quit throbbing about the time we got down to Destin.
I had 5 get in my sweatpants. I was, as a kid, I forgot exactly what I threw. I think it was a pine cone at their nest. Very smart. Back when we had 3 channels. There wasn't a lot to do. But, man, they ended up in my sweatpants. Ooh. That was some pain. Those things are mean, man. The yellow jacket.
My dad's got a similar story. He hit a stop sign that had a yellow jacket's nest with a baseball bat because one of his friends told him to.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah,
and
really.
They all attacked him, and now he's allergic to all bee venom.
No.
Because he got stung so badly.
So if he gets stung, he's got to go immediately to the emergency room? Or has he got some sort of serum?
He'll take care of it himself.
Oh, okay.
He's a nurse.
EpiPen.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Your dad's in medical. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he likes to avoid going to the doctor, too.
Yeah.
Which says a lot.
Understandable, though.
Key West police say a man told officers, quote, "Today is my birthday," after being told he was under arrest for stealing a conch tour train on the 4th of July. Now, according to the arrest report, July 4th was indeed Jonathan Winslow's birthday, his 57th. He is facing 3 criminal charges after being accused of taking one of the famous vehicles on a
activity like we do. You belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart. As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Alabama, join us over on covercrimson.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on covercrimson.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We're down to 2 teams in our 40 and 40 countdown. We'll get to that in the first hour at who's number 2 in the best fan poll in college football. That's happening today. Bobby Carpenter joins the show in hour number 2. We'll talk to him today about team number 2, Ohio State, who slides in. and a lot of other college football and a little NFL discussion. An interesting poll today from USA Today about the best uniforms in the National Football League, a ranking 1 through 32 we'll get to. But we start off, as we often do, talking Alabama and Auburn football. And we got a new interview dropping on our YouTube channel a little later today at 12 noon. Emily Grace McWhorter over there inside the Alabama program. Bray Hubbard today. We're about to hear from Bray. And we've discussed this a couple of times throughout the summer already. But with Alabama hater Mike Griffith yesterday saying Alabama has the best offense in the SEC, LT and I both said we think the defensive unit's better than the offensive unit. And on that defensive side, it may be the secondary is the best part of that defense.
And how about this? Bray Hubbard might end up being the best defender Alabama's got this year. Like, Deontay Lawson, I think everybody, LT Overton, I think people would kind of gravitate to those guys.
Tim Keenum.
Yeah. But I think Bray Hubbard, the progression you saw throughout the season last year and into this season, I think he might end up being the heart and soul of that defense.
And that's where Emily Grace jumped in here because really without an injury, I don't know where Bray Hubbard is right now on the big scale of name recognition and skill set, but Bray Hubbard's on everybody's lips thanks to an injury last year. Here's EG with Bray Hubbard.
When you look back at last season, you really had to rise to the occasion a little unexpectedly. What were those conversations like between you and the coaching staff that allowed for that growth in you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the major part is trust. I mean, you got to have the trust. I mean, I tell guys, some of the young guys we have, I was like, the way that you want to get on the field is you have to have the trust. If they don't trust you to go out there, execute, and play the best of your ability, then it's going to be hard to see the field. Because we're all talented. I mean, everybody's here talented. We wouldn't be here. And so that's something that I tell them is like, hey, I mean, you really have to earn their trust and make sure you know the playbook. You can't have those mess-ups in practice. And that's something that, is huge. And so that's what I really tell the young guys is, you have to stay focused on doing your job, doing your 111, and just stay focused.
What stands out to him or stands out to you guys when you look at him physically? Because there's something that jumps. And
he's got big old jaw. I think if he were a boxer, he'd be a tough out.
Well, he's listed at 6'2".
Right.
But I bet his wingspan is every bit of 6'8".
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, if you can back it up
just
go back
to the start if you can, because that's where you'll see.
But I've always noticed that
he does have long arms.
That he looks long in a uniform, but you can tell right there, disproportionately, he's got a long wingspan. He
really does.
With that athleticism.
Yeah.
To your point, that closes down the window of the quarterback getting the ball in around the guy.
And massive hands, too. I mean, he's just, again, he might only be 6'1". They list him at 6'2", but he is long.
Yeah. But that's how when you get to the Senior Bowl, they go into that measurement, too, is wingspan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wingspan's huge, especially when you got that athleticism.
You can be 6'1", but with the wingspan, that can make you 6'2", 6'2.5".
That's right, yeah.
And with his closing speed. I mean, he really, much like a lot of the Alabama defenders, really started to learn and get comfortable with Kane Womack's defense as you rolled into November. And this guy was so young and untapped. I mean, he's going to be special, in my opinion.
I would just always remember when the Sapp injury happened, the next time Roman Harper, that Thursday, Harp was on the show, and I brought it up, and Harp's like, Keon Sapp's a good player, but Alabama is not going to miss a beat here. This Bray Hubbard kid can play. And I was like, all right, I trust Harp's opinion on this. But Keon Sapp, I thought, was terrific. And, Harp was right, and not surprisingly, Harp was right. He knows the game and certainly knows that position.
Well, his highlight game was Alabama's worst game of the year probably, and so I think a lot of people probably forget that because I think there was a lot of groaning and people going to get another beer and like, holy hell, how bad is this offense? But on that defense, he was dominant that night in Norman.
Yeah, against Oklahoma. You can get that entire interview along with the Jeremy Bernard one that has already dropped, been out for a few weeks, on our YouTube channel. It'll drop at 12 noon, I'm told, right after the conclusion of our live show today, 12 noon Central, as you watch us today. And it's an in-depth interview, E.g., with Bray Hubbard of Alabama as we get ready for SEC Media Days and a lot of talking next week in Atlanta. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're over there all week long. with our coverage from Atlanta on SEC Media Days, and we'll tell you more about that as we move a little bit closer. Off to college football we are. Live games start in 44 days. Show number 989 today being brought to you in part by our wonderful friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Our friends at UCA who help you stay on top of your health, guys, as you move from your 20s to your 30s. There are 16 locations here in Central Alabama. UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UrologyCentersAlabama.com, 205-930-0920. 205-930-0920, Urology Centers of Alabama. With those 16 locations, 35 urologists. Find one near you. Prostate health, the kidney stones, everything in between. Maybe you're to that point in your life. vasectomy is what you're looking for. All that right there at UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Brownie.
And you can get the pair of glasses I am currently wearing and many, many other great options with our friends at Breakline Optics. BreaklineOptics.com to see their full line. BreaklineOptics.com if you want to touch them and feel them for yourself.
Have you tried them on the golf course?
Yes, yeah, very much so.
I am going to play my second round.
Okay.
With you tomorrow.
Weather permitting.
In 7 years. Is it supposed to be
there's a
shaky?
chance of rain tomorrow.
Okay. But I am going to try out the brake lines on the course.
LT going to try to play better wearing some brake lines.
Yeah, weather permitting. You dropped the forecast in there.
I do have to check this now. I just assume that we got on this roll.
I don't even look at the weather anymore. I just assume it's going to rain at some point.
Right.
And I'm assuming it's always going to be a certain temperature in here. Like I walked out today with a hoodie on, and Maggie's like, it's going to be
90 today.
The heat index is going to be 100 today. Why do you throw the hoodie on? And I said, because in our studio, it'll be somewhere between 68 and 70.
I can always skin it off.
That's right.
Yesterday I went to an early dinner, and it was literally raining sideways. Sun was still out, but it was raining sideways, so you just can't tell.
You can't tell. But in the event you're heading outdoors, Breakline Optics got you covered. Now, these are glasses that are designed to last. These molded Trivex polarized lenses, that may not mean a whole lot to you. It really doesn't to me, to be honest.
I brought you a hammer.
Did you? No. Oh, I was about to say, that would be awesome. I'm happy. I keep forgetting to get the hammer.
Yeah.
But you can bash these. I've seen them do it. You can bash these things with a hammer and not break the lenses. BreaklineOptics.com. Built for the outdoors. Whether you're out there fishing, you would like to hunt, you're just at the beach, at the pool, wherever, these things are built to last. They are built so those elements, the salt water and things like that, don't affect them. That's what they're built for. That's what they're made for. See more online. BreaklineOptics.com. BreaklineOptics.com.
Okay, more college football coming up in our next segment. A couple other things to get to here in our opening segment today. I don't understand why in sports we do things that the majority of people really don't want us to do.
Okay.
There are two things that are happening likely today and next week, but was announced yesterday, that the majority of people don't want. But we're going to do them anyway. It goes back to like losing the Pac-12. I don't know who wanted to lose the Pac-12, but we ended up losing the Pac-12. I wish it was still around with USC and UCLA and all those teams out there. But yesterday we get the announcement that we're going to use the automated balls and strike system in the All-Star Game next Tuesday night in Atlanta. So they're going to actually use it in the game. They're using it in AAA. So we're going to get to see how it works. Basically, the umpire's back there calling balls and strikes, and you can tap on your helmet and challenge a call if you don't like the ball and strikes. Apparently, it's 15-second quick decision, faster than the tennis one, faster than the NFL replay review and all that. It's supposed to be really quick. But they did a poll. The Athletic did, and where is it? 93% of the players don't want it. 93% don't want it.
I think human element is part of the game. It always has been. Look, robots are taking over. And what happens when you challenge when you upstage an umpire, you get thrown out of a game. You upstage a robot,
they're going to kill you. They're
going to put something in your food.
What do the players not like about it, do they say?
They're happy with the way it is. Now, some of those that were polled were pitchers, and you get to work the edges. But, some of the hitters, they like the tighter strike zones, that you get with some umpires. And, when you go to the legitimate what the strike zone is, that's actually a bigger strike zone than most umpires call. And so that's going to really help some pitchers on the ups and the downs of it all, maybe not the edges.
What do they call now? Letters to knees?
It just depends on the guy.
Well, it depends on the guy, but what's the official strike
It's
zone?
supposed to be, here.
So armpit to
just
knees?
the bottom of the knees. Yeah.
Armpit to bottom of the knee.
Yeah.
It's what it's supposed to be.
And that's a big strike
and you're
zone.
right. A batter does not want the ball up around his armpits. That's a hard ball to hit, right?
I mean, to me, baseball is such a, I don't want to say bigger than any other sport, but officiation or umpiring in baseball is so massive, and I just think human element's important.
I kind of agree with Jason in the chat room. I can't believe there's 93% that don't want it. That seems awful high. I mean, it's hard to get 93% of people to agree on everything.
Do you guys want it? I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't watch baseball very much, so I don't care one way or the other. But Lance, it would not bother me.
Here's another poll: 85 out of 134 hitters don't want it. That takes the pitchers.
I bet they don't.
85 out of 134 hitters do not want it.
But this is not removing the umpire from the field. To your point, this is just. And how limited am I on replays? How is there a limit?
Well, I do not know I don't know.
You got to limit that now. I don't want to see a guy tapping his hat and stepping out every other pitch. That's just going to slow the game down. They've actually done a great job of speeding the game up and making it much more watchable. Let's don't slow it down by adding replay.
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, all of these guys are going to be pushed out.
What, the umpires?
Yeah, like I think even boundary calls. I think you will have maybe an eye in the sky, and then you'll have a guy back at Command Central that can do bang bang plays.
I mean, if we get it right, though, I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
there's some nuance, like there is in football on the holding. I don't want every holding call.
I don't either.
No,
nope.
Right?
No, it's just going to slow the game down. As long as you let my team hold as much as my opponent holds, I'm fine with it.
But if every holding call were called on an offensive lineman by the book,
it would last forever.
It would be a boring sport.
That's right. You'd have a ton of 1st and 20s, and every game would last 4.5 hours.
Yeah, and I don't want every ball and strike. It doesn't have to be right every time. How many pitches? You throw 100+ pitches. Every starting pitcher throws them every game. They all don't have to be right.
But that is part of the game, like getting acclimated to whatever the zone is for that particular guy behind the plate.
The other thing that we're about to force through, maybe by close of business today, is expanding the NCAA tournament. And I keep waiting to see somebody who is for this. Yeah, and I don't see that. There's no poll because I don't know if they can find anybody that really wants this.
Have you met Greg Sankey?
Except the people who want. Is it Sankey that wants it?
Well, I think that's what everybody says, is that the SEC and the Big Ten are the ones pushing this through because it will mean more teams, thus more money for them.
God, how greedy is the SEC and the Big Ten?
The status quo, 68 is on the board today. There's no way we're going back to just 64, which is clean and perfect.
So he went from grouchy Greg to greedy Greg.
68, 72 are the betting favorite, which is 76.
All right, so 76. So
68 is what we are now. That would add 8 more.
8 more.
So quick math, 4 more games.
So you're going to add 8 more teams. So a game to each region, or a game to each section of the bracket.
Yeah.
Unneeded.
Most likely it'll be played before the Thursday, Friday. And according to reports, there is minimal, if any, extra revenue, according to the TV partners.
That's what's the surprising part. But there will be in the future. They're doing this now, setting up for whenever the future negotiation is, but I think that's quite a while away.
In the last 10 years, 83% of the at-large bids have gone to the power conferences anyway.
I don't know about you guys, but those Tuesday, Wednesday games are background noise to me. And I don't think this is going to change.
You're talking about the Dayton game.
I'm talking about the Dayton game. So what is the end game with adding these 8 teams? I mean, how much money more could it equate to?
Let's do the math. We've already got 2 games on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday. If we had 4 more games, then will we have 4 on Tuesday, 4 on Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
But some of those are going to be played at the sites, though. Like, they're not all going to be played in Dayton, is what you've been telling me. I don't think you could.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not seen a plan.
If you started them at noon, I guess you could play them all in Dayton, but I think it's going to be probably 2 different sites.
Yeah.
We'll have a new Dayton, I'm guessing.
Dayton supports it pretty well, so I don't know if they'll lose everything, but it's always made more sense to me to play them at the actual site. Like, so if Spokane, to use an example from 2 years ago, was the host, and one of these playing games is in, that team's going to end up in Spokane, just go play in Spokane. Let them go out there early, go to the venue and play it. You know, I don't think it's going to screw up shoot-arounds. It's one game, right?
It's not going to change shoot-arounds, but it does give them one time shooting in that facility.
It does.
In a game that the other ones do not have.
But they're also going to be an 11 seed playing a 6. You ought to be better than that.
Yeah, but as LT always points out, and it is factual, those teams that have won in Dayton They've been some that have made runs even to the Final Four.
Yeah. I mean, they have.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I don't know what I want out of this. I think what you're going to get out of it is, and I'm trying to think who are the next teams next two in out of the SEC and the Big Ten this year. I mean, crap, for the SEC, I guess it was the last two teams in the conference, wasn't it? I mean, everybody else got in.
The whole league except two made it.
Yeah, so you'd have the entire SEC in there.
I'm having a hard time remembering which two didn't make it.
That is very, very greedy, isn't it? I'll tell you right now, I got it in front of me.
And then the Big Ten, I mean, teams like Rutgers, who had 2 top 5 draft picks and couldn't make the tournament even in an expanded field of 68. Now we're going to find a way to get them in.
South Carolina and Georgia?
And LSU.
South Carolina and LSU.
And what were their records, Lance?
14-18 for LSU and 12-20 for South Carolina.
We need to shoehorn those folks in.
That's not making you
But I mean, how
better.
mediocre were some of the teams that got in from Texas, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt? I mean, teams that weren't going to make any noise.
I mean, those teams are not – they're only marginally better than LSU and South Carolina. So that's what you're going to end up getting, and I don't know who the mid-tier was in the Big Ten or the bottom tier in the Big Ten, but that's who you're going to end up getting.
You talk about diluting the regular season. I mean, again, I'm not a big college basketball regular season guy now anyway. It used to be can't miss for me.
Well, you've just flipped on that. I'm now
Jimmy basketball.
more into college basketball season.
Yeah.
All it took was Alabama and Auburn to get really good.
Bama had to get good for Dunaway to get
I mean, you're going to have a bunch of 17 and 15 teams in.
But now I said the same thing, Lance, about the college football regular season with expanded playoffs. And to me, the college football regular seasons we've had recently have been some of the best we've ever had.
But you know, the difference there, Brown, is you've got one game a week.
You do.
Yeah. And it's just such an abbreviated schedule.
But I'm saying that to say I tend to agree with you. It feels like we are going to badly minimize the college basketball regular season. I mean, Jim, every SEC team would have been in last year. Every one of them.
Every one of them. Well, no.
Well, all but one.
I don't know. I don't know if LSU at 14 and 18 gets in.
Which one was 11 and 20?
12 and 20 with South Carolina.
South Carolina?
Yeah.
I don't know, 14 and 18, if you got that many teams.
Well, I mean, look, let's just turn the TV off at 14 and 18.
I don't have any interest.
I mean, how do you get to postseason if you're 14 and 18?
Yeah. You should at least have to have a winning record,
Sankey can't think this is good for the game. Can't.
But keeping 14 of 16 in probably makes him feel pretty good.
But this is a participation trophy. This is exactly what is going on in Little League sports and why our society is decaying.
And his argument.
Yeah, it really is.
That and the robots, right?
There are people that are saying if you're going to expand, let's go ahead and just put everybody in. And I always make the point everybody
you already are. Yeah.
technically is in. When you do the conference tournaments, there's an automatic bid available. So everybody starts off championship week, presented by whatever sponsor ESPN wants to throw up. And you play your way, and if you win your conference tournament, you get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament.
But you earn it there.
So everybody has a chance to make it no matter what your regular season was.
I agree.
And you earn it in the regular season. It used to be, hey, man, you got to get to 20 wins. Like, you kind of knew the bar. You knew there were important games in late February, early March, and now all that's going to be out the window if we continue to expand this tournament. I mean, when do we stop?
Well, but and Jace makes this point, and I was going to make this point, is I think Sankey and Tony Petitti's answer to you would be, well, you say it's not good for the game, but I'm giving more college players the opportunity to play in the NCAA basketball tournament. How is that not good for the game?
Well, it might be good for those players, the experience.
It's not good for the viewer.
Yeah.
I mean, good for the game, good for the viewer may be the same thing sometimes. But your point is, this is not good for the viewer. I enjoy watching it one way. You're giving it to me another way now.
The tournament used to be special. It was teams that were rewarded for having special regular seasons. And now when you do that, it just dilutes the product.
I am one man. I do not speak for all of society here. I am one man. But you know what I enjoy watching?
That's a change for you.
You know what I enjoy watching more than Dayton? I enjoy watching like
Masterpiece Theater.
Well, maybe so. I enjoy watching like the America East final. Quinnipiac playing American.
Yeah, because
in some little cracker box high school gym.
40 minutes for one
40 minutes for
a
one
lifetime
spot,
opportunity to get to that
and
tournament.
it's on somebody's home floor, so it's a great atmosphere.
And they know that
that's right.
Loser's not getting in.
That's right. And that is way better than Dayton. However, you could.
And those kids get to travel to a nice hotel. They get the spotlight. They get the itinerary. They get the gift bags. They get to experience something that they'll never experience again. And 17 and 15 South Carolina shouldn't experience
that small conference one and done championship. It's the week before the big tournaments, right? So it's not competing with the SEC tournament or the Big Ten tournament. It's the week before, and they're playing for that one moment in time, if you will, that one shining moment. And those are far more fun to watch for me. I watch those. I'm with you. The Dayton games, that's background noise. I really barely even care. Those other conference tournaments the week before, those are fun to watch. And I mean, I don't know how you replicate that, but that's your point, Jim. Those are play-in games for the NCAA tournament. I mean, the NCAA tournament has already begun. Maybe we just label it all the NCAA tournament.
I could stomach this. If you want to expand it and you want to bring me 8 more teams, then give me the teams of the mid-majors that won 25-plus games and maybe got upset in their tournament. They had a great regular season, but a team like Chattanooga, who wins 29 regular season games and they lose in their conference tournament, give them a pass. Yeah. Don't give me 17 and 15 South Carolina.
Yeah, but you know what they know? Chattanooga doesn't bring the eyeballs that LSU does.
Who would you rather watch, though, honestly?
They're both going to lose in all likelihood. The charm of the tournament has always been that 14-seed Chattanooga trying to upset 3-seed Georgetown or something like that.
More fun in that playing game, Chattanooga against Texas A&M or South Carolina against Texas A&M.
First off, before we move on, say you're old without being old, making Georgetown a 3-seed. Well, it's been a while, bro.
It's been a minute.
That's been a while.
But I say that because
Nebraska football next for you?
I say that because a couple times as a kid, Georgetown was a power, and they were against the wall against a lower seed.
Yeah, but I like that. I mean, I have no problem with that.
That would be better.
Yeah, that somebody who's had an unbelievable season, maybe knocked off in November or December, a power team that ended up in their 1-1 bid league, lost their championship game or their semifinal game, and got bounced. Chattanooga's a great example.
Yeah, well,
get them in.
If y'all hate this, just wait till the big conferences leave the NCAA. I mean, if y'all hate this part of it, wait till the big conferences are doing their own thing.
Is there a chance that happens before we close of business today?
Probably no.
Okay.
I think it's always on the table.
Yeah, we'll see if that actually goes down today. A couple more things in our opening segment. We'll get back to college football in the next one. Our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City, ready to give you a free no-cost roof inspection. I always get asked, you say free no cost. What's the catch there? And I said, there's no catch. Absolutely. It's a free, no-cost, no-obligation roof inspection from Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. Now, Greg, when he gets up on your roof, and if he doesn't find anything that makes you feel good, if he finds something, he hopes you'll use him to repair it. And down the road, if you have no problems, in 3 years, you'll remember, man, what a great guy, Greg from Pell City. What a trustworthy guy he is. I'm going to call him back up. 205-542-3531. That's the business plan on a free, no-cost, no-obligation roof inspection that he gives you there. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Locally owned for over 20 years. He and his wife, Andrea, run the company. Full roof replacement, storm damage. Heck, he's got a builder's license. He can help with that storm damage repair as well. 205-542-3531 or Greg from Pell City on Facebook.
I got to see our guy Alexander Shinara last night. Talked to him for a second. We got something fun coming up football that he is super excited about. More on that as we get to football.
This is going to be a good time.
Yeah, he's excited about it. Alexander Shinara, trial attorney.
Can I guess real quickly?
Sure.
LT and Shinara make a bet, and the loser has to do a number of shots that the difference in that they lost the game over.
I mean, look, I'm up for whatever.
Now, here's what I would like.
And then if I lose, I've got to wear Shinara specs. Rodney Terry's.
Rodney Terry's. LT and Shinara make a bet. If Shinara loses, or I don't know.
Let's not put him monetarily on it. I think he's out of my stratosphere.
Over $2 billion recovered for local clients, Lance. It's right
here
in the
percentage of that, right?
Yeah. Alex took home some of that. If Alex wins, he does the show one day, and Lance has to go try a case. Would that be good content? Lance try a case.
That'll cut into the $2 billion.
I will tell you.
It's going to be the lowest.
I've seen a lot.
If Lance wins, we never see Lance again.
I've seen a lot of crime, of crime drama. So a lot of courtroom.
Lance knows
the law. Content.
Yeah, I think it's good content. Lance trying a case, and Alex could do the show with us at all.
Hearsay, objection.
I object. We haven't even started, sir. We're just sitting down. Alexander Shinara, trial attorneys, national firm with Southern roots, headquartered right here in Birmingham, his home community, for more than 24 years. They've grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. As I mentioned, more than $2 billion recovered by Alexander Shinara, maintaining his core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. When you're in need of a lawyer, you start with Alexander Shinara. Shinara.com. They never charge you. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shinara.com. Shinara.com.
Okay, I'm here to tell you the Mannings don't always win. The Mannings do not always win as we get ready for Arch Manning in Texas this year. Eli Manning, since we're talking billions, Eli Manning pulled out of possibly being minority owner of the New York Giants. He was going to be part of a group. He was going to own 1% of the New York Giants. Right now, that bid's around $10 billion to buy the New York Giants. And he says yesterday that the price got a little too much for me. My 1%, that ends up being a big number.
Yeah, do the math. Well, it's $100 million.
That's crazy.
$100 million, to own 1% of the New York Giants.
And I mean, what's 1% outside of the fact that, hey, I'm associated with the team that I won Super Bowls for?
Well, you're not going to lose your money.
No, it's only.
No, you're not. But, I mean, there's probably, I don't know, maybe there's not better investments.
Well, I mean, there's a chance you sell it for $200 million or for $20 billion. And I think there's a good chance you double your money. Like, I could see the Giants going for $20 billion one day. I know
but is that one of those things you would ever want to sell?
For him, yeah, because you only got 1%. I mean, 1%'s an investment. 1%, you're not doing that to
run the team
and make personnel decisions. You're doing it because I played there, and it is a solid investment.
But let's say you're the grandkid one day, and you've got a ton of money. Money's no issue, but you own 1% of the team.
But here's the thing, Jim, about those percents, to your point, Lance. How often do you see NFL teams sell? Doesn't happen a ton.
Once every 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Seems like it's starting to happen.
Well, maybe so is the money.
Just because the number's so big.
As the money goes up. But, most of the time, if you're investing 1% for a quick flip of double your investment, that's a pretty good chance it's going to sell within 5 years. I mean, that's why you do something like that. And if they buy it now, they're not going to sell it in 5 years.
What does a broker make on that? Like 3% for a typical realtor, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you broker that deal selling a $1 billion team, what kind of percentage do you get?
Works out really good.
Yeah,
that would be a great job, right? What do? I sell professional teams.
I broker NFL sales.
Yeah. And is that really hard to sell? It seems like people are lining up trying to buy.
Yeah, I mean, they want it. It's not like they're going to get cold feet at the 11th hour.
I mean, it's a solid investment, but I think it's also a what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's a status investment.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're in a very exclusive club if you're an NFL team owner.
But I don't know about the minority owners.
No. I just mean like if you're the overall, if you're the Jerry Jones, if you're,
it's your
Jim Haslam.
It's your 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I mean, you are, every time that draft rolls around, they show you.
Yeah.
And every time you're playing at home, the TV partners love to show the owners.
I mean, Steve Ballmer, did you know who Steve Ballmer was before he brought the Clippers from the Sterling family?
Nope.
And now Ballmer, has become kind of a pseudo-celebrity in sports,
Jerry Jones is... he only owns the Dallas Cowboys. I think he has the second, probably because of AT&T Stadium and everything that goes with it, the second best American sports dynasty as far as ownership. It's Kroenke. It's got the most valuable with all the teams he owns. It edges out Jerry Jones. I saw a graphic last night.
But Kroenke's all over the globe.
Yeah.
That's right. But Jerry Jones was second, and then there were 3, 4, and 5 on that list of 5 graphics that all included multiple teams. Jerry's one-star logo there for the Cowboys. That's how expensive they were. But Manning backs out of 1% because his would have been $100 million.
I thought you were setting up the Auburn thing he did.
That was earlier this week. He set a record throwing 3,000 toilet papers onto the trees down at Toomer's. Upcoming
Eli's Place, I think is the name
Eli's
of it.
Place.
But I was going to ask Forrester real quick as an Auburn guy. Scott, I've seen a lot of Auburn fans upset by this.
Yeah, it's become a little controversial. It's a fake rolling.
Yeah, and that's the controversy, right?
Yeah.
We only roll this for big events and wins and stuff like that. This
is a photo op.
Yeah.
Or bad Alabama things.
Well,
right? Yeah, I've done that.
Those could be considered.
I think it even got rolled for the Braves winning a World Series, which was also a controversial.
That was controversial. Yeah.
Well, but a lot of people showed up, though.
Oh, they did.
I saw pictures.
Yeah, I think they set the record. I don't know what the record was, but I think they set the record. But I just saw that there was some controversy.
It was Eli actually throwing 3,000
Oh,
rolls.
he threw
He
them.
threw 3,000 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah, Bo Nix came back for it.
Oh,
He was
wow. The Auburn man, Bo Nix.
I think that's the record. I think Eli was setting a
I got you.
record of
I thought it
throwing
was just how many
3,000
people threw
rolls
it.
himself.
Well, I don't know, Jim. That would take a long time.
That'd take a long time.
I mean, you do 60 a minute. Let's go. No, there's no way Eli threw all 3,000.
No.
Help me in the chat room. I thought that Eli set the record for throwing 3,000 rolls of toilet paper.
No way. Think about it, Jim. You could do maybe one a second, which is 60 a minute.
I'm at that point in my life where I have to think about it for words to come out of my mouth. I did think about it. But it does sound like it would be a world record if he did it. I understand. But
if I'm doing
that would take him 10 hours.
Yeah, so it's 3,600 rolls.
Yeah, it'd take him 10 hours.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. It says Eli Manning helped set the world record.
Yeah, there's no way he threw
all of them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to challenge that world record.
He threw the first pitch.
No, but I'm going to challenge. You're telling me that Auburn has never thrown 3,000 rolls of toilet paper before?
Boy, that's a lot. Don't know.
That's a lot. But I'm with you. How do we know they haven't?
What now?
It says it's a new world record.
I'm going to say BS on that. 2013, 27. Every time they beat Alabama.
Well, I mean, do you think there's 3,000 people at Toomers that each have a roll of toilet paper?
On a big win,
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I mean, I'm not doubting that.
Commercial break. When we come back, somebody in the chat room update me on this and tell me if you think that's a BS record, because I thought it was Eli throwing it by himself.
This article says it was 7,125 rolls in total.
Okay, that's a different story.
I still think we've thrown more. Not we. I've never thrown one.
I mean, how's that even measured, though?
Yeah, I know. Who knows?
You know how easy it would be to break a world record, though?
Well, we just need 8,000
because I had the one broke 2 years ago, and I had all the help, and they wanted
to pay for it.
They wanted $30,000 to bring the curator out.
Just have to pay for it.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm challenging that. 71. What number do they end up throwing?
7,125 rolls.
Yeah, you're telling me that after any of the big Alabama wins, that they've never thrown 7,200 rolls of toilet paper.
I mean, I've never really thought of this, but that feels like you could have done that after an Iron Bowl win.
Yeah,
after the kick six. I mean, I'm going to assume it probably peaked at the kick six.
And I'm telling you, I mean, that whole down the street it gets.
Well, and so that game ended at roughly 6 o'clock, right?
The kick six, 6:30,
7.
Yeah.
Okay, but people were probably hitting Toomers till 7 in the morning.
Oh, there's no doubt.
So I mean, there's no way there wasn't at least 3,000 rolls thrown that day.
Yeah.
And this article also says that there was no previous official record. So they've never really measured or checked
So
before.
anything was the record
And
at
this
that
was
point.
part of Eli Manning's
Well, that's
show.
silly.
So
I mean, you can't have a record if you don't know what the
somebody's got to start the record.
Yeah,
Well,
I find
they
it
have the
really
record
hard
now.
to believe that this was bigger than like the kick six
Yeah,
rolling.
now I'm with you, Scott.
Or 2010 winning the national
Yeah,
championship.
exactly.
Way to come back and say what I've already said, Forrest. Thanks for chiming in and backing me up.
Yeah.
5 minutes into the discussion.
I'm with Scott.
Sorry, Jim,
I was
I've been
where
looking
you
for
are.
pictures.
I was where you are 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm with Scott. I think he's making great points here.
Trying to find content.
Well, I'm used to it from you. Yeah, that's when Taylor clips that out and sends it out on social media. All right, tell us about Company Distilling, and when we come back, we will do our 40 and 40 team. Company Distilling now available here in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, hey, look, that's the great news. You can now find Company Distilling ABC stores across Alabama, also in states like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina. Whether you're picking up a bottle for a weekend gathering or just exploring something new, Company Distilling is worth the pour. If you can't find it on the shelf, just ask your local store to enter it in or to order it in. Spirits is good, deserve to be shared. Must be 21 plus to enjoy and to purchase. Please enjoy responsibly. For more information, you can always go to companydistilling.com/Alabama. Pick up a bottle this weekend of Company Distilling.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of NextRoundLive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Our 40 and 40 team in just a second. Major League Baseball draft happening this weekend on Sunday. Ike Irish, the Auburn star, projected to go in the top 10. Most mocks have him going to the Chicago White Sox, where he'll lose more games in a week than he did this year at Auburn.
By the way, the White Sox broke the Blue Jays' 10-game win streak last night. They were the hottest team in Major League Baseball. The White Sox are so much better than they were last year. Yes, that's a really low bar.
So when you guys recently played in Colorado,
they took 2 or 3.
I know, Rockies White Sox. What do you think that drew 3-game series?
Oh, you're going to be surprised at this one.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, you already know.
Yeah. One of them July 4th or 3rd.
Oh,
so they showed up for fireworks.
Okay, so they sold out for the fireworks.
That's right.
Yeah, they drew I think it's like 45,000 for that game.
But still, they averaged over 40. They did 120,000 a 3-game set.
For that 3-game set.
I bet they had fireworks every night.
Rockies fans were like, all right, it's our chance, son, to go see the team win. Let's go. We're playing the White Sox.
And they didn't. They lost the series.
Yeah. Chet Holmgren gets a 5-year, $250 million guaranteed contract with Oklahoma City after they gave SGA 4 years, $285 million. So they're having to pay those young players to stay at Oklahoma City.
But Devin Booker, his 2-year, $145 million is the largest per year North American contract we've ever seen that he just signed with the Suns at 28 years old.
To stay with the Suns, 28. I thought he'd end up playing somewhere else. I thought they'd let him go.
I did too, but Phoenix has been one of these organizations where they've paid players in the past. So
paid Barkley a long, long time. All right, so Odie's last night. Tell me what the question was at trivia.
What element on the periodic table is most abundant in our universe?
Can you tell Lance is using the robot for questions now?
In our universe or the robot's universe?
Our universe.
Yeah. I think, let's see.
I'm going to go carbon.
Carbon.
Yeah, because
For
we're
Tyler.
I think everything is carbon-based. I think
Okay.
that's really good. I
You're
think
going
we're
carbon as well?
I think everything I can touch is carbon.
Carbon is not correct,
Yeah.
but this is 74%.
I'm gonna
of our existence
If
is
it was
this.
hydrogen, it seems like everything would blow up a lot. If it was helium, it seems like we'd have higher voices.
I like him deducing this.
Yeah. Oxygen
Everything would blow up a lot.
Most of the air is nitrogen, not oxygen.
So I'm going to go nitrogen.
It's hydrogen. 74%, most abundant element in
I
our
went to-
universe.
Listen, there's hydrogen in this.
Yeah, hydrogen in almost
You're
everything.
drinking a piece of hydrogen right there.
These are little facts you learn at ODC
Sure.
Trivia.
H2O, Jim. What do you think that
Yeah.
H stands for
Yeah.
in H2O?
I know.
In fact, you got 2 of them in there.
I love when Brown, who knew the answer before Lance asked it, I sat here and acts like Jim, it's hydrogen. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I knew that already before Lance even brought it up, before I Googled it.
Think of all the water. 2/3 of the earth is water, and 2/3 of that water is hydrogen.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that for a second.
Everything else.
What am
is
I
made
thinking
of-
right now?
Of carbon.
You are thinking that Brown is always trying to outdo you. Brown always tries to know everything.
Yeah.
What
No,
are you thinking?
I'm thinking right now, the guy that does not have the college degree is lecturing me on being smart.
On the periodic table.
That's accurate.
It was the robot that pulled that question for me. Boy, I have relied way too much on him lately, but hey, that's part of it. Odie's Team Trivia, though. I guarantee if you ask the robot, great neighborhood pub to go, incredible food for over 3 decades, robot's going to tell you Odie's Tavern. 2 locations, the original in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood, award-winning wings, delicious burgers, fantastic sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets, full of the Bud Light. Get into one of those 2 locations. Go see Will Haver and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
Before our 40 and 40, we're in Atlanta next week for SEC Media Days. Thanks to the creativity of the people on the desk and Taylor, our social media director, we've done a lot of the list that other people are doing or will do next week. Blake Topmeyer, who writes for USA Today, ranked the toughest places to play in the Southeastern Conference. Toughest environments to play in, he says. He went Florida 1, LSU, Tennessee, then Alabama, Georgia, then South Carolina, then Texas A&M. Auburn way down there at number 8.
You know, the truth of this is, there's probably, 6 or 8 SEC teams, I would say, that if they are really, really good, their home venue is the toughest place to play in the conference. If they're really good, right?
I think we could almost, on a Friday, we can tell you going into that weekend, this is going to be the toughest place to play in the SEC this weekend.
There's been a time in my life where the Swamp at Florida was the toughest place to play in the country, period. There's been a time in my life where Neyland Stadium in Knoxville was the toughest, loudest place you go in the Southeastern Conference. There's been a time in my life where Tiger Stadium was the loudest earthquake place you go in the Southeastern Conference. So, I think it's just depend. There's a lot of stadiums that could be the toughest place to play when their team is really, really good. It's why it is hard to do an opinion on something like this.
I bring this up by what you're talking about here because we think Notre Dame has a chance of losing to who on the road this year? Arkansas.
Yep.
Arkansas is 13th on this list, but why do we think it's going to be a tough place for Notre Dame to play?
Boy, because they're going to the most ravenous you've ever seen Arkansas fans just mirror it. It's going to be there that day for Notre Dame, and it's going to be 80,000 people going absolutely nuts. The only thing I hate about it's an 11 a.m. game.
Yep.
You put that game in prime time. I feel good that it's going to be a one possession game. But if you put that thing in prime time, I feel really good Arkansas wins it.
When you do this kind of list, it's easier in the SEC to start 16-15, and you go Vandy, Kentucky. 16, Vandy, 15, Kentucky.
Right.
Then it gets tough. Blake Topmeyer's 14th toughest place to play in the SEC is Ole Miss. To our point we're discussing, I've been in Oxford a couple of times where it's been a zoo, including Alabama.
The Katy Perry game.
The Katy Perry game.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I've only been to Oxford, I think, 3 times. And I've never been to a game where I guess they expected to win. It was more about the party.
Yeah.
So, they've always been full force on the Grove. But once the game kicks, it was never that big of a deal. But that was a different Ole Miss time.
Yeah.
So I've never been involved in one of those games that you guys have.
It was absolutely a zoo that weekend. Let's get us to our 40 and 40 today. We're near the end of the greatest fan vote every year in college football by you guys, our listeners. Unbiased, because we had Alabama I think number 7. It's brought to you by our friends at Champions. They bring you the 40 and 40 every day on our show. One team every day, all the way up until SEC Media Days.
Yeah, hey, look, if you're looking for that really interesting, unique workout, you can get it from our friends at Champions Boxing. They're located conveniently in Pelham, right behind the Purple Onion. For more information, go on Instagram at Champions Boxing AL, on Facebook at Champions Boxing AL. Anyone looking for a workup different from just throwing up weights, come check them out at Champions. They are the official sports boxing coordinator for the 2025 World Police and Fire Games held in Birmingham this July. It's down at the Alabama Theater. Beautiful venue down there. Boxing for fitness and competition, all ages starting at 9 years old. They've got 8 USA boxing certified coaches, not only in boxing, but strength and conditioning as well. Stop in, see Jake, Akash, all the fine folks. Tell them the next round sent you.
All right. Number 2. Is it Texas? Is it Ohio State? Is it Ohio State? Is it Texas? It's Ohio State. Dot that I, Brownie. The Buckeyes come in at number 2. That means Texas will be number 1 tomorrow. That means we'll get a number 1, number 2 matchup in week 1, at least of our rankings anyway. There were 15 voters of our 46 that had Ohio State number 1. I won't give last names, but Patrick, Shane, Red Mill, Daniel, Chris, Greg, Rosie, Jared, Josh, Brandon, Adam, Karen, Jace, Cole, and Lance Taylor.
Not anymore.
No, he's changed his vote.
I've changed
one man, one vote,
40,
Lance.
we did this a long time ago. And the more that we play this thing out, and the more we do a little deep dive, I think Ohio State's going to be really good. Unknown. You can make the argument right now, best offensive player in college football in Jeremiah Smith.
Okay.
And best defensive player in Caleb Downs.
Yep.
You're missing a couple of tackles. You're missing, Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson were great backs, maybe the best backfield in college football last year. Both of those guys are gone, so you've got an unproven running the football. You got an unproven with Julian Sayin, although I believe in Ryan Day. You've got new coordinators, too.
See, that's where I was going to go. Defensive coordinator loss, huge.
Oh, Matt Patricia is taking over this defense.
And that feels like a huge downgrade, doesn't it? Jim
really
to
does.
Matt Patricia.
Yeah, I think Brian Hartline taking over this offense from Chip Kelly, who has now gone to the Raiders, back to the NFL.
It's going to have so much Ryan Day influence in it.
And Hartline is a up-and-coming rising star. He will be a head coach sooner than later. I think the offense is going to be fine. I do think the defense is going to go back just a little bit. And when you start to really dissect this schedule, they lose week 1 against Texas, which is virtually a coin flip. I think games at Washington, at Illinois, at Wisconsin, Penn State at home, and at Michigan are really difficult games. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 10-2 again in the regular season.
Yeah, which will get them in the playoffs, and they'll be fine. They'll be hosting, in all likelihood, a first-round game there at the Horseshoe, just like they did this past season, and made it all the way to the national championship. They were clearly the best team at the end of the season. I just wonder if you see a difference in Ryan Day with the monkey off his back of winning the national championship. The two things that have plagued him, Michigan and not winning a championship.
Okay, Dunaway, I was going to bring up Michigan because they go to Ann Arbor on Saturday, November 29th. Can you imagine if they're 11-0 and number one, but they lose that game after winning a national championship? Like, I think this sounds crazy, but it's like all the luster is off Ryan Day, sitting at 11-1, going probably to the Big Ten championship game again as the reigning national champions because they can't beat their biggest rival.
That would be 4 in a row, right?
Yeah.
If they ended up losing that one. They both coordinators, also offensive line coach and quarterback coach, are new as well. So a big chunk of that whole coaching staff has changed over.
The pettiness I love in college football. You notice how they, on the graphic from Ohio State, how they label Michigan, the team up north. They won't even call them Michigan. They won't use their logo, team up north.
Ohio State is a pretentious bunch.
That is epic college football pettiness right
there. But they are a pretentious bunch. The Ohio State University.
Oh, I know.
Possibly the best player in college football, Jeremiah Smith.
Maybe
on
the
this
best
team,
on
though.
each side, though, to Lance's point,
Yeah, maybe the best defensive player in Caleb Downs. One or both of those, I guess. I don't know what Caleb would have to do to be in New York for the Heisman, but he could be there. He returns the ball some.
Let's say return to kick, a key kick against Indiana, which kind of blew that game open. Yeah.
I mean, look, they're the blue blood. They're the elite. I mean, just how elite are they going to be this year? Like, we know they're going to be one of the 5. We talk about every year. There's a top 10 preseason team that will be out of the rankings. It ain't going to be Ohio State. Much like with Nick Saban, they're going to be right there in the mix every year.
Yeah. So Texas and Ohio State play week 1. That's our number 1, our number 2. Some people, it's the most common national championship matchup in our poll, too. Texas and Ohio State. So a rematch of the week 1 game in the championship, including you, Brown. That's who you think.
That is correct.
Think it's Texas and Ohio State. Brown had them 2. Taylor had Ohio State 2. I had Ohio State 3. Forrester had Ohio State 4. The lowest voter in our poll, 7th.
I'd have them about 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
I'm going to redo my 40 and 40.
Are you?
Yeah.
Revised.
Nobody cares, but I'm going to redo it. So do you guys have a problem right now if I told you, okay, we're going to kick the season off with this great 1-2 matchup, and we are going to end the season?
Nope. As long as it's a good season, I don't care if they play week 1 and sometime in the middle of January. That's not going to bother me at all.
It doesn't bother me. Sometimes I think we've tried to do that in the NFL. We've tried to take defending Super Bowl champion and pair them up either with the best in their division, in their conference, or the best in from the other conference.
Rarely works out in the NFL.
Oh, it never works out. And most people don't think it'll work out in college football.
Yeah, but would you guys almost guarantee, like even money right now, whatever amount you could put on it, that Texas and Ohio State both will be in the 12-team college football playoff?
I was about to try to paint a picture that has Ohio State out of the playoffs. I think I can do it, but it's going to require something that never happens to happen. Okay? If they lose the bookend games, I mean, that is not a crazy scenario, right?
No, not
they
at
lose
all.
to Texas, they lose at Michigan. Michigan's had their number.
Yeah,
that's not crazy.
Michigan nowhere in their league, though, just like last year.
They weren't last year either, yeah. The only other one, I mean, at Washington is a sneaky difficult game for them.
By the way, by the time they get to Ann Arbor, Bryce Underwood will be a better quarterback than Julian Sayin.
Okay,
yeah,
interesting. But I mean, the one would be Penn State. If James Franklin can shake the thing that has plagued him, like Ryan Day did, there is. I mean, I can paint a somewhat realistic scenario where they're not in the playoffs.
I don't think that's the case. I think 3-loss Ohio State because there just won't be that many Big Ten teams ahead of them.
But their wins would be Grambling, Ohio, Washington, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers.
Oh, I know.
Might not be a ranked win in that bunch. Maybe Illinois.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But there'll be 3 Big Ten teams in the playoffs. You know there will be.
Yeah, there will be. I think 9-3 would probably get Ohio State in. I can't see 4 losses.
I can't even paint a way to have them out of the playoffs.
He doesn't lose games unless it's
really
a big game.
I know.
Here's Ryan Day getting asked about starting the season off against Texas and maybe a sense of urgency. Maybe that's a good opening game coming off the national championship.
Does that at all change, I guess, a sense of urgency of how quickly you guys want to get things done when you're not starting with a let's see what we find out game? You're starting with essentially a playoff game in August.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Yeah. I had a chance when I took my son down to Clemson and I spent a little time with Dabo last year. They were opening up with Georgia, and they were just talking about how different that preparation is. that preparation for that game starts in June, and then it goes into July, and then August you're cracking pads because you got to be ready to go in that first game. That's just how it goes. So it does certainly start the preparation earlier. Everything's ramped up sooner, and well, you can tell. I mean, I've been talking about it now since we started spring ball. Because you just know. So especially when you have some new guys, new faces, they got to be ready, and it's a job for the coaches and the leaders to make sure that urgency is in place.
That's Ryan Day. Team number 2 today in our ranking. One more to go. Texas tomorrow on the show. Wraps up the 40 and 40, brought to you by our friends at Champions. Before LT tells us about Michelson and our viewing menu, let me remind you that Weight of Wellness can help you jumpstart your weight loss right now. They help me maintain that even 173 pounds every morning I get on the scale. Weight of Wellness can help you do it as well, including maintaining afterwards. Leslie and her board-certified team, I was by there yesterday. Always a lot of people who watch or listen to our show flowing in and out, and that was the same case yesterday. You can see what Weight of Wellness is all about by clicking on the website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. No contract, no sign-up fee, and the first consultation is free. They give you a variety of different ways to help you lose weight and get healthy, lower those cholesterol numbers. You have no contracts, no sign-up fee, and that first consultation is free. Aplanforme.com, Weight of Wellness, your journey to healthy living. And our friends at Michelson, they bring you the viewing menu.
Hey, if you wear the glasses or the contacts, you are wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. I wore the contacts and wasted money on the contacts and solutions for about a decade. Finally went to see Dr. Mark Michelson back in 2003. I've got 2015 vision, still better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toller. The Next Round sent you. She is going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, the big release of today is Superman.
I see the shirt. Is that a new shirt? Did you get that just for the release?
I bought it a while back, and I thought about selling it, and then I looked at it this morning, and I said, I'm going to wear it. I can just say, it's only been worn once.
Worn once, yeah. You get the same price.
Yeah, that thing's busy. What's going on underneath?
Turn and face the camera, because it looks to me like when I see now it's chains.
Yeah, he's breaking out of the chains,
man. Yeah, because to me it was
kryptonite-colored chains.
Yeah. It looked like when I used to...
Are they kryptonite chains?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
We used to have a thing called Stretch Armstrong, and when we pulled the arms apart, that gooey green stuff would pop out of them. That's what I thought. Somebody was pulling his arms apart, and gooey green stuff was popping out.
Yeah. No, that's not happening.
It is chains. But, so are you excited about the flick?
Yes, I am. This is my most anticipated movie of this year. It's Tim Melton's as well, and I also think it's the most important superhero movie ever made, because people are tired of those, and if this is good, then it can reinvigorate interest in the genre, and if it's really bad, then it might really ruin it.
Remember you guys saying the same thing about Deadpool and Wolverine. Let me ask you this. A lot of people like to separate their politics with entertainment. I have heard that James Gunn has made this very political.
It's a dumb thing he said, and it's getting blown out of proportion. Superman is an alien that crash lands on America, so technically it's correct, but I don't know if it's supposed to beat you over the head with politics, or if it's just he comes to Earth and now he's trying to help everybody, but we'll see. People on YouTube are still going to blow it out of proportion and say, Warner Brothers is gone woke. Yeah. They've ruined the movie.
I didn't know he said
everything's terrible now, and then they won't see it. But I hope it's good. We've also got a rewatch you can do tonight on VH1 at 8:30. Underrated movie, Southpaw, with Jake Gyllenhaal and Forrest Whitaker.
I didn't really like it.
Is it a boxing movie?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So Jake Gyllenhaal plays a former boxing champion.
Rachel McAdams
is in it as well.
Oh, Rachel McAdams?
Yeah.
You got Dunaway's attention.
For a minute.
Yeah, Dunaway's in.
I didn't know you were such a big Rachel McAdams fan.
Notebook.
Dude that directed Training Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like it.
I thought it was okay. Oh, I'll tell you, he got in shape for it.
He did.
Yeah. I'm going to say he had him a cocktail or two of some interesting supplements.
I'm about to mix some things in.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have an ounce of fat on him in that movie.
No, he doesn't. And that's all I got.
That's what Tyler is watching. Brought to you by our friends at Michelson. When we come back, we get more college football for you and a little NFL. The best and the worst uniforms, according to USA Today. We'll see if we agree with those. Bobby Carpenter, part of the next hour show, being brought to you by our friends at Bojangles as we hit the top of the hour.
It can be bow time for you at Bojangles. When you get ready for lunch, dipping sauces, you love them, right? Whether it's sweet or heat, they've got a great option for you, and nothing pairs better with those dipping sauces than their hand-breaded tenders. So if you want sweet, try honey mustard. You want some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic bow sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's bow time.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show today, show number 989 on this platform. We'll talk a little NFL in just a second. LTDMB with you. Brownie wanted to jump in and say something right here.
I don't know if Scott's got it. Scott, I put Scott on the spot in the last break, so I don't know if he's...
I've got it.
You got it? Okay. Just imagine...
This is not real.
No, hang on. We're getting to that next.
It's not real.
No, we're getting to that next.
Oh, my God.
All right, so I just have to look at it. I can't believe Tyler popped it up. It's awesome.
Dude, that is Albert Brooks in Lost in America.
Okay, that's not what you're talking about.
No.
Okay.
Hang on. So,
no, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. In the state of Oklahoma, we're about to spend a few minutes in the state of Oklahoma. They are qualifying for the state amateur golf tournament. All right? Mm-hmm. State amateur golf tournament. Scott's going to pop up a live look at the leaderboard, Vulcan Tire leaderboard update there. If you'll notice, and I want to give credit to Jeff for contributing this to the show, among those that are at even par, 3 shots out of the lead of the qualifier, a gentleman by the name of Trey Lamb. Anybody know who Trey Lamb is?
Trey Lamb is C.D. Lamb's little brother.
Trey Lamb is a multi-billionaire.
Trey Lamb is the first-year head coach of the Tulsa Golden Hurricane.
Oh,
trying to qualify for the Oklahoma State Amateur. And
you've got to be kidding me.
As Trey said in the submission, or excuse me, who submitted this? As Jeff said in the submission, could you imagine if Hugh Freeze?
Yeah, when is the Alabama State Am?
How awesome!
I've got a problem with this. Him being the Tulsa coach, pick
first
your
year,
lane.
Lance, first year Tulsa coach.
Do you want to be a head coach in college football, or do you want to be a professional golfer?
Where's Tulsa recruiting right now? Because he may be telling people, I'm out recruiting some SEC schools.
That is unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, how much golf do you have to play to be prepared?
That's what I was going to say. I wonder what his handicap is. Let me look up.
It's got to be incredible. It's better than Hughes. He plays. This guy, I will go on and tell you, plays as much as Dunaway.
Who, Trey Lamb?
Yeah, he has to try to qualify?
I mean, it's state amateur in a state like Oklahoma. That'd be tough to qualify for. I mean, you got to be a good player, obviously, in any state. I mean, in Alabama, it's the same way. But I mean, Jeff said, just imagine the outcry if somebody pulled up the leaderboard and Hugh Freeze was trying to qualify for the Alabama State Amateur. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you could fire him with calls.
Probably so. All right, I've got Trey Lamb. He's a plus 1.5. This guy can play. Yeah. I mean, plus handicap can go.
Maybe it's natural for him. Maybe he just hits a bucket of balls during his lunch break.
Now, he's only posted 1 score in July, but let's go with
smart.
Let's go with the freeze line here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 in June. You played more.
Probably
he played more last week.
It probably didn't rain as much in Tulsa as it did here.
That's amazing, though. First-year head coach.
I mean, just think about it, though. I mean, you've got, even at Tulsa, you probably have 3 football field links of practice facility out there. I can just walk out during my lunch break and hit a bucket of balls.
Pound a few drives.
I mean, Hugh could walk out from his deck at the football facility and hit drives into the All-State Good Hands net behind the goalpost if he wants to.
So Tulsa...
Everybody's making too much about this stuff.
I love, though, that this dude is like, screw, I don't care what they think about me. I'm going to try to win the Oklahoma State Amateur.
Yeah, I think I might have to play this team's under. I don't know what Tulsa's, probably 3.5. They won 3 games last year.
You're going to have to watch Tulsa football if you do this. Just as a warning.
Just see the scores. Dr. B brings you part of the show today. We're going to talk hair in just a second.
Dr. B, absolute best in the business. If you're starting to thin out, it doesn't matter how old you are, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, 50s. It can happen at any moment. That is why you need to be preemptive. Not only maintain what you've got, but also grow some back. That is what has happened to me over the last couple of years. 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. There are over 10 categories of agents they use, knowing they will work for you. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they're working. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B and find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, you can always go online, T3hair.net.
Okay, speaking of hair, hats off to the EA Sports College football folks who who dropped this game. It's now available to everybody at the normal price, the non-deluxe version, today at around 11 o'clock. The $69.99 version, the discount version. Deluxe people have been playing it all week, but it drops at a time where this is probably the most talked about video game, at least on our platform, every year now. And the coaches being added now, all the coaches are getting to react. Mike Gundy, head coach at Oklahoma State at Big 12 Media Days, when he had a chance to look and comment about his image and specifically his hair. Here's Mike Gundy.
Yeah, that for sure says I have a full head of hair.
That's not.
That's good.
Who is that?
And they got me all like muscled up. I'm not that muscled up.
Is that the goal these days? Have a full head of hair?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like a fro.
Wait till my high school buddies see that. Yeah. They'll be lighting me up.
Okay,
that's amazingly bad.
Tyler, I don't know if you know who Albert Brooks is. Very talented guy. He's been. I mean, I'm dead on, right, Forrester? Pull Albert Brooks.
No,
and
it's
Lost
Albert
in
Brooks.
America.
That's a great comparison.
But I don't understand how Gundy's always tan. Like they have made this guy. As pale as possible.
It's like EA didn't think anybody was going to pay attention to the coaches, Jim. It's like y'all just do whatever you want on the coaches. Nobody's going to pay attention to the coaches, guys. They're in this for the players. They have not. I've not seen one coach they've gotten right yet.
I thought DeBoer was pretty close. I'm gonna die on that hill. I thought DeBoer was pretty close.
You're gonna have to die on that hill. I didn't think it was anywhere good.
I don't think it was.
It looked like a confused.
I think you're going to be the only one on that hill.
Boy, that is spot on. You're right.
Yeah,
Albert Brooks and Mike Gundy.
Albert Brooks is actually darker pigment than the Gundy draw.
Have y'all ever seen this movie? It's so funny.
I've never seen it.
Which one is that?
This is Lost in America. So him and Julie Haggerty, his wife, they get an RV. They cash in everything they've got, and they decide to drive America. Their first stop, Las Vegas. She loses everything. And then the madness ensues. I mean, literally first night, the entire nest egg is gone.
You did what? I could see him reacting to that. All right, so back to college football here. Pro Football Focus. They have their top 10 coaches in college football. As I've said, we've done these lists all summer long. We've done our own. We've reacted to others. But it dawned on me when I was looking at theirs at how many of the top 10 coaches in college football that Lance really doesn't think is a good coach.
That's not true. I haven't seen this list.
Well, wait till you see the list before you say it's not true.
Yeah, but I mean, the number of people who are considered to be the 10 best at what they do in college football that you question whether or not they're a great coach or not.
Is it fairer to say Lance doesn't trust them in a big game?
It's hard to be one of the best at your field and not be good when it counts.
Let's just go through it.
Okay, number one on their list.
I feel good about this guy.
Is Kirby Smart.
Yes, I endorse Kirby.
Number two on our list is Ryan Day.
I think Ryan Day's a hell of a coach.
Just can't beat Michigan.
Well, now wait a minute though. Did you trust him before?
I had them winning the national championship before the playoffs started last year.
Okay.
Number three on their list, Dabo Swinney.
I think Dabo Swinney's a hell of a coach. He's hokey as hell, but he's a good coach.
It seems like I've always thought Dabo catches strays on this show from you.
I mean,
you don't like his act.
Yeah, his act is beyond tiresome. It's hokey, blah, 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 the Roy bus, all that kind of stuff. But you can't deny what he's been able to create at Clemson.
You don't like BYOG?
Okay, so we're 0 for 3 right now on me thinking these guys aren't good coaches.
Number 4 on the list is Dan Lanning.
Look.
I feel like you think Lanning's way overrated.
I think he is overrated, at least to this point. I think he showed that as the number 1 overall seed last year, getting embarrassed. But look, they were 13-0 going into the playoffs, so he's an incomplete. I don't understand the love right now, though.
In my head, and let me know, chat room, if I read this wrong. In my head, and sitting here every day absorbing the things you say, I thought you liked Kirby. Ryan Day came up short in some big games. I didn't think you were big on Dabo or Dan Lanning. I know you like this guy, Marcus Freeman.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Number 5.
Again, as I point out, and I'm as guilty of this as anyone, I would like to have heard more of what we said about him after the Northern Illinois loss. This guy changed his perception so much in the last 2/3 of the season. Coming out of that Northern Illinois game, he was getting heavily criticized.
Okay, so, and for the record, You can dislike somebody, but agree that they're really good at what they do, i.e. Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. And Dabo, apparently.
Number 6 on their list is Steve Sarkisian.
Again, he hasn't done anything. He has done nothing.
You've hit your stride now, Jim.
Yeah, I think he is a better coach than he once was. That's not a high bar because he was average at best at both Washington and USC. He has grown as a coach. He finally did win a postseason game, but I still don't think he's won a monumental game at Texas.
I mean, the biggest win outside of the playoffs he's had at Texas was the game in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And now that
September game.
Yeah, but it was a September game against a team that ended up in the playoffs. I mean, that was a good win.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like championship moments,
I got you.
Hasn't had it.
I got you.
Yeah. So of the 6,
4.
Sark is the only one you agree with me that you don't think belongs on this list.
Well, I mean, you got to have 10, and that's kind of the problem.
Ryan Day, Dabo Swinney, Dan Lanning. I've always thought you clip them at the knees a little bit.
No, I mean, I had Ryan Day winning the national championship all of last year.
We know Kalen DeBoer. You love him. He's 7 on the list.
Oh, yeah.
James Franklin is 8 on the list.
No, not a fan. I mean, look, 3-17 against top 10s. You know, Clay Travis, because he's had dinner with him, tried to take up for him the other day. And, I mean, he's a good coach. Again, I think his biggest accomplishment is 9 back-to-back wins at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I had you at 50% of this list. So
we're getting close. So Lanning,
it's only 2. Lanning is
Franklin,
3 and incomplete.
Yeah.
So, but Ryan Day,
Sark.
Dabo, I missed. 9 and 10 you love. Brian Kelly at 9.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And Kirk Signetti at 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do think Signetti's a little high at 10.
Whoa, we've already got Kirk Signetti in the top 10?
Yeah. No Lincoln Riley.
Is this based on just last year? Did they just use last year's rankings?
They're just going by a guy, Coach Ball.
Okay,
but I mean, Signetti's already in the top 10.
Let me say
Get
this.
them dunks out and coach the ball.
Guy who coached some ball,
Coach the ball, Jimmy D. Talk some ball. We're in them dunks.
Like, I could probably go some different directions than those coaches, but I don't know how different I would go. I mean, look, you got to have 10 on this list. I'm just trying to.
There's a lot of guys I'd put in front of Signetti.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Heupel probably is in front of Signetti right now. I mean, Lane Kiffin maybe.
Oh no! If Lane Kiffin had been on this list, I would have come in at 60%.
At least 5
I'm not a fan. Like, I mean, you tell me Lane's biggest moments. I mean, look, he's won double-digit games at Ole Miss, which is really good, but he has blown opportunities to get to a college football playoff. Signetti is high, though.
That's too high. He can't be number 10.
So Lane Kiffin, we walked through that door, setting me up for this soundbite on the Joel Klatt Show. Ole Miss as a college football playoff team. Joel Klatt, his thoughts on Lane Kiffin. What you got, Joel?
I trust Lane Kiffin. He's not only great at tweeting, he whines a lot about the playoff, which we know, but guy can coach. Lane's an excellent coach. He's one of the best coaches in America. I think that people love to hate on Lane, but everywhere he's done an excellent job. He's grown. He's matured. I find him to be hilarious on Twitter. They are replacing 18 starters, including 8 draft picks, 5 on defense. How do they replace them? The number 4 transfer class with 30 transfers. Wild. They have to replace Jackson Dart, Austin Simmons. This is also a bet on Kiffin's offense, right? I mean, Kiffin is going to be able to score points. Pete Golding's defense last season was awesome. They were the number 2 scoring defense in the country. They led the nation in sacks, TFLs per game, but that's a lot to replace. Not saying that they can repeat what they did, but I don't think they're going to take a giant step backwards. Toughest games: home against LSU, at Georgia, at Oklahoma, home against South Carolina, home against Florida. I believe that if they go 3-2 in these 5 games, 3 of which are at home, that they can go to the playoff. Do I think they can beat Oklahoma? Yes. Do I think they could beat one of the 3, LSU, South Carolina, or Florida? Yes. What's the most likely one? Probably South Carolina. Those are some good quarterbacks you got to play. At Georgia is just tough, and then you're going to have Nussmeier at LSU, Sellers at South Carolina, Lagway at Florida, and Mateer at Oklahoma. So 3-2 in those 5, and Ole Miss is going to have a great shot to go to the playoff.
Okay. Joel Klatt Show, wherever you get us, you get the Joel Klatt Show right there. We appreciate it.
Give me any top 25 team, and I can make an argument that they can go 10-2.
Yeah.
And that's just what Joel did. Look, they're replacing way too much. We're putting way too much stock in Austin Simmons. I do think Lane Kiffin is one of the best offensive coaches in all of college football.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He says, I trust Lane Kiffin.
And I think that they're going to blow it out to start the season, but the back half of the season is brutal. If they can get by LSU, then I do think they've got a fighting shot to maybe win 10 games. But if they lose to LSU, the back half of the schedule is way too difficult.
Would you agree with Klatt in that he's, the quote was, done an excellent job everywhere he's been? Like, I think the Tennessee year
was okay.
I think it was good. I think, they almost beat Alabama. They were 7-5. It was, a transition year. I think
again,
that gets remembered.
I was doing the Nick Saban show then, and I remember him saying off camera how going into that game and then coming out of that game, how well coached that team was, that team wasn't as good as their record indicated, talent-wise.
Yeah, so I think that gets forgotten a little bit. USC, though, you're a USC fan. Did he do a, quote, excellent job at USC? Everybody remembers he got fired on the tarmac.
No, he did a B job there.
Yeah, again,
he didn't have the numbers. He didn't. I mean, he literally had a hand tied behind his back.
He was the coach, for those that forget, that had to deal with the scholarship reductions and the penalties from NCAA infractions. He was the guy that had to be there, Mike Shula.
Yeah. So, look, USC, Florida Atlantic, 2 of the 3 years were special. And at Ole Miss, I mean, you can't deny he's done a really good job. So, again, if he would have been number 10 on the list, I don't think he's won big games, but a lot of those guys have it.
And I'm telling you, I just take him as what he says. I was listening to it this morning, another powerful soundbite about his sobriety.
Yeah, I do think he has matured. I agree with Klatt. We talked about this months ago.
Yeah, it just sounds like a different guy right now. And Pete Golding, who we all were part of a spring football game where we thought Pete Golding was going to be a star, and I know Alabama fans don't love him, but the guy I still think is a heck of a football coach.
I gave you
he had great numbers last year.
Yeah, I told you who was the leader in scoring defense last year in the SEC was Ole Miss.
Yep.
So
Klatt just echoed some of those numbers.
You guys
again.
will give me Austin Simmons might end up being the next great college quarterback. Who
Could
knows?
be.
But Jackson Dart is the best quarterback that Lane Kiffin has ever had. You're losing that and 18 starters. Now the 30 transfers, even if you dominated the portal, you don't know if they're going to come together. It came together at Indiana, and a lot of these guys came from JMU, so there was some familiarity there. But this could be great, and it could all come together, or it could be a disaster.
All right. Couple more things before we get to Bobby Carpenter to talk Ohio State football. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hempill. They bring you the lock every day. Tell us about those wonderful folks.
Hey, they are incredible at everything they do. They are in the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling. Any of those issues arise in your home or business, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at New Life Art, the great Daniel A. Moore, painting history in college football for years. The first one I remember was the goal line stand when Krause stood up the Penn State running back at the goal line, winning Alabama a national championship, and they've been rocky blocking and diving for pylons ever since on the canvas of Daniel A. Moore. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com for all the pieces of work, including the legend Nick Saban's 6 national championship tributes and a lot more. Get ready for football by adding to your sports room. DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR right there. Tyler, give me cut number 1 ready here in a second. But first, Big 12 ended up with their media days yesterday, 2-day event. Frisco, Texas is done. No media poll. There was a unofficial coaches poll done by Brett McMurphy and On3 Sports. Every coach gave them who they think would win the championship. You couldn't vote for yourself. All right?
Okay.
All 16 coaches participated. Championship game, according to the coaches in the Big 12, Kansas State versus Iowa State. We play for the Big 12 championship.
Well, we're going to see that game this year.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with week 0.
Start with that one in week 0 and then end with it in the Big 12 championship game.
I got no idea. I'm going Kansas State right now, but I feel good about Utah. I still think if BYU can figure out quarterback, Arizona State, if they can keep the momentum going, I mean, there literally are. And I remember Brett McMurphy telling this as Dallas last year. There's 7 or 8 teams that can win the Big 12. I thought that was a little excessive. If you told me 7 or 8 could win it this year, it wouldn't shock me.
With Retzlaff, I would say BYU, but without him, I think those are the two best teams in the conference. Fink being very, very stressed.
I do think Utah's going to be really good.
Kansas State got 8 first-place votes. Iowa State ended up getting 6, and Arizona State was next. Texas Tech, TCU, Baylor, and Utah were the ones that had votes from the coaches to win the Big 12. Deion Sanders was the star there yesterday. He took 2 quarterbacks, he said, because I don't know which one's going to be the starter. I think we're fine with both of those. And Deion also made national headlines talking about the NIL guardrails that should be in place. Here's prime time.
How do you believe NIL should be guardrailed now, especially with the revenue share?
I wish it was a cap. Like the top of the line player makes this. And if you're not that type of guy, you're not going to make that. That's what the NFL does. So the problem is you got a guy that's not that darn good, but he could go to another school and they give him $500,000, and you can't compete with that. That don't make sense. And you're talking about equality, not equality, like equal. I guess equality. And all you have to do is look at the playoffs and see what those teams spent. And you understand darn near why they're in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to compete with somebody who's giving $25-30 million to a darn freshman class.
Right.
It's crazy. We're not complaining because all these coaches up here can coach their butts off and give them the right opportunity with the right players and play here and there, you'll be there. But it's what's going on right now don't make sense. And we want to say stuff, but we're trying to be professional. But you're going to see the same teams darn near at the end and with somebody who sneaks up in there. But the team that pays the most is going to be there in the end.
Deion Sanders, your thoughts on those comments?
Yeah. I mean, look, I agree. I think ultimately we will get to probably a cap situation. I don't know how that will lay out, but
I thought that's what we just did, though.
I kind of thought so, but I mean, there's cap circumvention, obviously.
Yeah. But I also heard Deion went deeper on comments, and I don't know if you guys got to hear these, but he basically said because this has become a professional model, we need to alter the game of college more towards the NFL, like 2 feet in bounds.
I don't
different
see
rules.
that connection. Yeah.
I don't either. Like I like the differences in college and the NFL game.
In some cases, I agree.
But he did go a little deeper on some other comments like that, which I disagreed with.
I think the NFL would be more exciting if you only had to have 1 foot in.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Those guys are so dang good.
I know. I'd love them to be even to make more spectacular catches.
I will say, in last year, I slept on this team, but the impact of 2 generational players, and that's what they had. This will be the first year he's coached in college football without Shedeur, his son at quarterback. Caden Salter's a kid that came over from Liberty that's got a lot of experience, but I just wonder how many games Shedeur Sanders won for Deion at Colorado. And I wonder how much of the drop-off is going to be this year.
I don't know how many players they bring, but did you notice they brought Juju Lewis? I'm sure they brought Caden Salter as well, but they brought the
I said they brought
freshman.
both quarterbacks.
Yeah,
both quarterbacks.
I don't know if everybody did that.
No, nobody brought 2 quarterbacks. He was the only one that brought 2 quarterbacks because he didn't know who the starter was going to be.
Could you see it play out like this with Colorado? Could you see they lose to Georgia Tech, both quarterbacks play bad, and then it's just a rotation. You can't figure it out all year.
You never have a starter.
Absolutely. Bobby Carpenter is in our next segment. We'll get to him right after LT tells us about our fine folks at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first in the state of Alabama to perform the LASIK procedure back in 1995. True pioneer. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago. 205-969-8100. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
As we all know, there's no off season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Looking to expand your business? Let the Next Round help you. Contact us, sales@nextroundlive.com, and be part of the team. Advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platforms. The Next Round can take your business to the next level. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, while reaching the most desirable audience for your business. Get more information by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level using the Next Round.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We're on our way to talk to Bobby Carpenter about Ohio State, the Buckeyes, defending national champions. We want to remind you that the early detection is so important. Guys, as you age out of your 20s into your 30s and so on, Urology Centers of Alabama can help you everything from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. 16 locations right here in Central Alabama, 205-930-0920 or urologycentersalabama.com. Stay on top of your health.
If you're up in Columbus, you hear him on the Fan there in Columbus, the Morning Juice. If you are anywhere in the world, you hear him on Sirius XM College all the time. He is former Ohio State and Dallas Cowboy. Standout Bobby Carpenter with us on the Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys Hotline. What's up, Bobby? How are you today?
I'm good, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man, we always love talking to you. You are a wealth of knowledge on all of college football, but especially your old team, Ohio State, coming off that national championship. You know, normally that would be like a relief for Ryan Day, but when you're at a job like Ohio State, the expectation is, okay, well, now go win another one, right?
Yeah, I think that's generally you get to a handful of schools and you ascend to this level. And let's be honest, guys. I mean, when you're starting to spend money on players and people make these investments, they want to see return, a little ROI, if you will, on that investment. And you get the national championship last year, you feel good. You have 14 players drafted. But I think at this point now, it was a little bit of him kicking the door in. And it's pretty remarkable to think about this, that Ohio State's had their last three head coaches have all won national titles. Jim Tressel won his in his second year, Urban in his third, and it took Ryan to a seventh. And Tress was here for 10. Urban was here for 7. Ryan will now be surpassing him in his 8th season. And it feels like he finally has that momentum now. Early on, started off really fast, but then just couldn't get over the hump. So when he finally does, there's a sense of excitement. And just because you won it last year, I don't think there's any dip in expectations, if you will.
Is there a chance there's a bigger concern with the loss of Judkins and Henderson in that backfield than Julian saying, getting his first start at quarterback?
What's interesting about, the quarterback position, when you're breaking in a new quarterback and you've got a quarterback battle with, Julian and Lincoln, it's always about the supporting cast. And the one good thing was, Ohio State got decimated last year on the offensive line, and that was, I think, led to the 2 regular season losses with Josh Simmons going down at left tackle and then Seth McLaughlin going down at center, who won the Remington, and Simmons was drafted in the first round. It was another tackle. They're moving guards. But by doing that, they kind of discovered some of their young offensive linemen that got them on a roll in the playoffs. So the offensive line's pretty set. There's really good receivers. As everybody knows, J.J. Smith might be the best player in college football. And so when you have that and you have elite weapons like they do in a solid line, that's going to help take care of the running game. And so those guys were both very good, and not to diminish how talented they were, but Carlos Lachlan, one of my favorites, he was on my YouTube show, and he came on there. He's like, I can coach anybody. He goes, you just give me the players, I'll turn you into an NFL draft pick, whether you're a 3-star or a 5-star. So they've got some young talent back there. But the good news is they'll have a solid passing game around them and a really good offensive line to lean on. So those 2 positions, I think, are going to feel a little less pressure than maybe you would otherwise if you were having to break in a new offensive line or potentially were lacking weapons on the outside.
Bobby, I sat and watched Nick Saban bring in NFL coaches, Sarkisian, Dable, Bill O'Brien, and it wasn't a problem. But a lot of people are pointing to Matt Patricia following in as a defensive coordinator and whether or not he can live up to what Ohio State fans are used to. What do you make of Matt Patricia and that transition to college?
So full disclosure, Matt hasn't been obviously in college in probably about 20 years, but he's a great communicator. He's got a great system, a great scheme. It's all part of the Parcells, Belichick, Saban. There's like 4 or 5 guys. And so about 85% of the language and terminology, all that's very similar. So that's the system I grew up in under Mark D'Antonio at Ohio State and then with Parcells. And my final year was up in New England under Matt. It was his first year as the D coordinator. So I've always thought a lot of him. He's an incredibly intelligent guy. But even more so than that, he's a great communicator. And so it's not how much knowledge you have. It's can you communicate it? Can you relate to the players? And a lot of Ohio State, the media beat, was kind of concerned. They looked at him at Detroit and the lack of success and maybe how he came off. And I kept telling him, just wait till you get a chance to meet him. And he's an incredibly impressive man. He's a great communicator, and he's really been good on the recruiting trail. Jim Knowles, as good as he was, he really didn't like to recruit much. I think Matt Patricia, he finds this exciting. He hasn't done it in a long time. And when you're an NFL guy and you get to go to college and you think, wait a second, I can just go here and kind of pick the players I want. And if I can get them to like me to come here, then I can get as many good players as I want, as opposed to having to worry about free agency and worrying about a draft. So, there is obviously the revenue share and the NIL and all of that, but those things at Ohio State are much less of a problem than many other places. So I think he's going to be great. Caleb Downs, I know, was really excited when he came in just because of the similarity in terminology from when he was at Bama to here. And a lot of the players were really, really pumped for the multiplicity of what you're going to see on defense and just how unique he can be.
Former Ohio State great Bobby Carpenter with us at BCarp3 if you want to follow him on social media. You mentioned Caleb Downs, and paired with Jeremiah Smith, Lance made the point earlier, and you can certainly make this argument that Ohio State has both the best offensive player in America and the best defensive player in America. Not 100%. There's no way you can guarantee that, but you could certainly make that argument.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. And there was a guy, one of my good friends, Jeremy Birmingham, who covers recruiting here. And I always take recruiting with a grain of salt. Like, what's really the difference between the 3rd-ranked wide receiver and the 6th-ranked wide receiver when one guy is coming from, East Texas, another guy is coming from North Carolina? Like, how are you really comparing, those guys. And he told me, because Jeremiah Smith will be the best receiver at Ohio State. And I'm like, whoa, let's just pump the brakes, man. Like, you've had a lot of really good players come through as of late, but going back to, Chris Carter and Terry Glenn and Joey Galloway and guys like that, I'm like, I played with 3 first-rounders in Ginn, Gonzo, and Holmes when I was there. So let's just wait on that, and Michael Jenkins. So, like, just waiting on this. But I'm telling you guys, I've never seen a more impressive young man. Like, from him as a person, and I played with Calvin Johnson, and I always tell people that if your kid was given all the ability in the world, you would want them to grow up to be like Calvin, because he was selfless, hard worker, like absolute grinder, great teammate. And Jeremiah, like, exemplifies all of those things. I never thought I would see another guy quite like that, who came in so physically mature, but also so mentally mature. And Caleb's very similar. He may not be, he's very gifted. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I've ever seen another freshman coming in as physically gifted as Jeremiah, but then pairing that with the work ethic was absolutely amazing. So, you can get into it, who's the best on offense, who's the best on defense, very subjective measure. But you put on the film, there's not a single guy I'd rather have on the outside than Jeremiah. And with what Caleb's able to do on the inside, on the defense, playing safety, he can play deep, he can play low, he can blitz, he can tackle. Probably the best thing is that I don't know if I ever watched him miss a tackle this year. And so, as smart as he is and as good in coverage, you go back and watch his film from Alabama and Ohio State, playing safety in space. I honestly, gentlemen, I can't recall a time I saw him miss one. And so when you have a guy like that erases a lot of mistakes and is never going to miss a tackle, like, it's a pretty rarefied error.
I don't think you can deny 70 wins in 6 years for Ryan Day. I think everybody agrees. Really good head coach, finally wins a national championship. But hypothetically, play along with me. Ohio State opens the season 11-0, but they go to Ann Arbor and they lose that game. You're the defending national champions. You're 11-1, but what does that Ohio State fan base feel if they lose to Michigan again?
I mean, I don't even know if I want to think about that. You guys do media, work in the media. Like, I told somebody, they lost that game. Like, I feel for the guys. But I'm going to have to live in this for the next 2 weeks, and just the pain and emotion and the irrationality. And here's the best part about college football, guys, is, when we went to this expanded playoff, everybody was worried, like, would the rivalry games still matter? Would they still, because they don't have the big impact anymore. You can lose a game, you don't have to win your conference, and you'll still probably get in if you're a really good team. And I told somebody, you come to Columbus, Ohio after that Michigan game, it didn't matter you were getting in the playoff. Hell, you could have told them that day they were going to go win a national championship that Monday after. It would not have mattered. You could have told them that all week, and it wouldn't have mattered. So college football, despite the fact that maybe the games mean less consequently as far as the outcome of your season and what you can ultimately do, they still mean the same emotionally for the fans. And, oh, my gosh, I mean, if that were to come to pass, I mean, you're still probably getting a top 4 seed. And then it's like, okay, buddy, you got to go make a deep run, because that's essentially like, you're sleeping on the couch with your wife. You've got to figure out an unbelievable apology to find a way to get back into good graces.
Do you have like a crazy off-brand story to show the hate between Ohio State and Michigan? Like any situation, like, you're at a random grocery store, bar, conversation you've heard.
Did you get dumped by a girl back in your single days because you were an Ohio State guy and she was a Michigan girl?
It's interesting, because up in Toledo, like, for 20 years, Ohio State dominated. When I was growing up, it was not like that. It was the Cooper years, great teams, a lot of losses, close ones against probably inferior teams. And then, you go on this run with Tress and Urban and Ryan's first couple, and all of a sudden, you're 17-3. Well, then you lose a handful in a row, and then all of a sudden everybody keeps coming out, and it's always on the border. And so Toledo is up there, like, they're the front lines, and for the last 20 years, it's been really peaceful. It's been great. Everybody's got their Ohio State flags out. And one of my wife's good friends, one of her sorority sisters, her dad played in the 70s for Woody. And he goes, it was awesome. They're up there in Perrysburg, right, a suburb of Toledo. He goes, it was great. It was just so calm and quiet. And then as soon as they start winning, he's like, these people just rise up and rise out. And, they're shaking their fists. They win a national title in 23, for heaven's sake. And so, like, you get around the border areas, and it gets pretty frothy and pretty spicy. And I've got some friends that are Michigan guys, and they're fairly respectful. It's really guys about the 10% of people on the edge of it that get really, really intense about it all. And, you post anything pro Ohio State, you talk about national championship, and like, well, we beat you that year. And so they just keep pulling all of these things in, and people do different things at their wedding for it and everything else. But there's always some great stories out there. And some of them aren't even really appropriate to share because they're so ridiculous.
Those are the ones we wanted.
That's right. The non-appropriate ones might be the best ones. He has Bobby Carpenter. He played for 2/3 of our teams up here with the Rams and the Dolphins. You did not play for Dunaway's Buccaneers.
It's okay.
Didn't get to live in Tampa.
2-time Super Bowl champions during during his
right,
time,
there you
basically.
go.
Yeah,
that's all right. Listen, Todd Bowles is my guy, man. He was with us in Dallas. I think a lot of him as a head coach, and he's doing a great job there.
Oh, there you go. Look.
So your old man played for the Rams too. Did you ever go to games in LA? I would assume.
You know what's interesting? My dad finished up when I was 4 years old, and I don't think my mom, I have pictures of me at training camp with him at both New York and Los Angeles. Like right when he was leaving Houston was when I was born there. So I don't have anything from there, but it was funny that when I got to St. Louis, it was the same equipment manager. And so he had some like old shirts from then. They were like just the old gray shirts, block blue lettering that just said LA Rams. Like that's all they had. That's what the guys used to wear. So he pulled them out. He's like, I've been storing these for about the last 30 years. Figured I'd bust them out now, give you a couple of them, you give one to your dad. And he had like a picture and some stuff with him from back in the day. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Oh,
what a cool story.
Yeah.
Bobby, thank you very much for the time, man. Enjoy the rest of your summer. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely, gentlemen. You enjoy it.
All right, buddy. Take care. Bobby Carpenter with us, former Ohio State Buckeye at BCarp3. You also hear him on Sirius XM College Radio and the Morning Juice.
You think if our kids ever take over this platform, they'll see Clarence creeping around?
Yeah, here's an extra shirt for you.
Hey, Lance'sLock.com. You can go play all the baseball All-Star break coming up next week, and then we get to exhibition football coming up July 31st. Lance'sLock.com for all the plays in this. Brought to you by our friends at Hemphill.
Yeah, we split last night. We did have the Braves, and they busted out Acuna, a couple of bombs to lead the game off as well. 4 plays up and available right now, including a free play at lanceslock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop at Train 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And our Bojangles tender moment of the day before we do our 4 downs. Tell us about Bojangles, and I'll give you a little tender moment.
Yeah, if you love those great tenders and a great dipping sauce, Bojangles has a great marriage for you right now. From sweet to heat, 7 sauces that add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with those sauces than hand-breaded tenders. If you want sweet, try honey mustard. You want some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. Smooth and creamy, how about that house-made ranch? Jalapeno ranch or classic Bo sauce, ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It is Bo time.
Our tender moment takes us to venues, stadiums in football. I don't think they start this year in the new stadium in Buffalo, but it's getting close. The $2 billion stadium there in Buffalo. Look at how beautiful it's looking as it comes along. Still a lot of work to be done, but that stadium there, what a big difference that's going to be.
Oh, it will be
what they've had.
And, always an incredible fan base that is just starving to finally get that Lombardi trophy there. I do respect the fact, like, if I'm a fan at my age, I want that thing closed. But I love the open element, and that is what is such a home field advantage for them.
I saw that Cleveland, I think, is discussing a suburb domed stadium. I think I saw that the other day. So many of these bad weather franchises, but I don't think you will ever see Green Bay or Buffalo play in a dome. Yeah, I think they embrace it more than anybody.
There's the old stadium, and what they did is they said, okay, we're going to cover up the fans as much as we can, but leave it open air like SoFi,
right,
to where it's still frigid and such. So good for Buffalo. And on the other side of that, it's not $2 billion, but Buford High School, just across the line in the state of Georgia. We see these in Texas all the time, but this is the Buford High School.
It's crazy.
Football stadium that is happening this year.
I mean, there's colleges that would pray for that.
I mean, of the Group 5, more than half would probably take that venue now.
Yeah, they've got a worse facility.
Now, I've never seen an aerial of Thompson's stadium, but it's pretty nice little stadium down at Thompson. It's not like that, but it's It's a pretty good-looking stadium here in our state. I don't know who's considered to have the best high school football stadium in our state. Hewitt-Trussville's is pretty good, I'm told.
I've been to Hewitt. I've done a TV game at Hewitt-Trussville's. It was nice. Yeah.
Opelika has a good-sized stadium.
Do they?
Do they? Forster used to travel around, do a lot of high school football, but in our area, nothing like the Buford one, right?
No, that especially the home side there.
Yeah.
I don't know of one that has a. I mean, Vestavia's place, size-wise,
it's huge.
The home stand, it's about like that, but the stadium's not that nice.
See if there's an aerial of Thompson High School Stadium. I'd love to see what that looks like. Obviously, dramatic lighting and at night with no game going on would make it look like the Buford one there. But I'm just wondering. That's good football at Buford. They if you follow recruiting, they kick out a 5-star every now and then. So here's the Thompson Stadium.
It's a nice stadium, but
wooden bleachers
close.
are done, right?
Yeah, you can't put in wooden bleachers anymore.
Yeah, so that's a
very
Stadium.
nice stadium, very nice stadium, but it's not close to what we just looked at.
See, they should be at the other end, looking back, because then the athletic stadium, the
Thompson's
complex.
Fieldhouse is really nice.
Yeah, indoor facility. Thompson has an indoor facility.
No, you can't win high school football games without one of those.
That's right. You can't practice outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that gets us to 4 Downs today. 4 Downs brought to you by our friends right there at Twin Peaks. LT, tell us about Twin Peaks.
29-degree cold beer done away before you turn around. Our kegerator right now in studio.
Let's see, 29 at Twin Peaks, I'm being told. So here that means we're usually 5 degrees hotter, 34.
35.
Oh, who unplugged it?
But you know what's not running around our studios? Those Twin Peaks girls. You look right there on your screen. Scenic views from every single seat in.
Only takes one call.
3D. Make sure you stop in one of those great locations for lunch, for dinner, to watch all of your Major League Baseball action. Fantastic place. It is Twin Peaks.
First down.
If you could have any kind of sandwich right now, what would it be?
So there's a place in Columbia, Tennessee that my girlfriend Maddie has turned us on to. It's a place called Ollie and Finn's.
It's fantastic.
It is the most random place because you walk in and you see it's almost like dry goods on one side of the store. They've got their homemade beers, but they make the most incredible sandwiches, and one is called the Bloodhound. And I will describe the Bloodhound for you. It's 3 slices of bologna. It's American cheese. It's lettuce, tomato. They put the Dirty House chips on it. Duke's mayonnaise, hero sauce on white bread. It's fantastic.
That sounds delicious.
It is.
Yeah, that place is good. Lance's girlfriend tipped me off on it, and my family and I stopped there one time, and it is really, really good.
It's a $15 sandwich, but I guess that might be kind of the norm now.
I
don't know.
So,
That's what I expend at Chick-fil-A every day.
Yeah, I love sandwiches, like anything from the club at Hamburger Heaven, one of my favorites right there. I just like a good, in the summer, a southern tomato sandwich. Simple as it can be is good.
Heirlooms out of my brother-in-law's garden is good. Yep.
But over in Anniston, there was a place, I don't even know if it's still open. It was called Classic Pizza, and it was out kind of near Welborn High School. And they had a muffalata that was outrageously good. And, it's just a random pizza place. I didn't even have their pizza, but I used to get their muffalata takeout. Oh, my gosh.
Well, you remember we were
so
at Diplomat Deli not long ago, and somebody had that muffalata, and the muffalata is massive.
Big as your head.
Yeah, but it looks fantastic. But I'm just afraid.
I like a muffalata, too.
If the taste is that good, I will continue to indulge and just eat and eat and eat until I feel like absolute shit.
I just like that olive spread they put on a muffalata. It's so good to me.
Heritage House over in Tuscaloosa has a nice little sandwich I love.
It is good.
Yeah, it's turkey and was it brie that's on it?
It's brie, and don't they put apple butter on it?
Apple butter.
Or some kind of jelly.
Yeah. It's delicious. Love it.
It's fantastic.
Second down.
Oh, my bad, Scott.
A Reuben?
How about a Reuben?
I like a Reuben, Scott.
I love a Reuben.
Do y'all like Reuben?
I like a Reuben every now and then. I think I could tire quickly, but a one-off, I kind of like a Reuben.
Well, what I've learned is until I went to New York City and I went to that Cat's Deli, that the rye bread that I've been exposed to is sort of a cheaper, not as authentic rye bread. So I've always shied away from the Reuben because of the rye bread. But a really high-end, well-made rye bread adds to the sandwich, doesn't take away. So the Reuben I had there, much better than I've always shied away from the Reuben because of the cheaper, yucky-tasting rye bread. real rye at Cat's Deli. Spot on. So I loved it.
Second down.
Unfortunately, last week we lost Michael Madsen. So what's your favorite movie featuring him?
Okay, so like his best movie ever was in, he had a personal relationship obviously with Quentin Tarantino, was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but it was such a bit part. Same with The Hateful Eight. Donnie Brasco as Sonny Reddy was really good. I thought Kill Bill Volume 1 he was really good, but Mr. Blonde and Reservoir Dogs. I mean, he stole the movie.
I have to pass because I thought Michael Madsen was the guy who danced at the Lakers celebratory.
Mark Madsen.
That was Mark.
Yeah, former Stanford, very pale power forward that actually was a quality minute guy for the Lakers.
So I pass on mine because I thought Mark Madsen is who I was talking about.
Mine's Free Willy. I don't know if you got. No, I'm totally kidding, Tyler. It's not Free Willy.
I like Free Willy.
No, Michael Madsen I thought played a really good part. I cannot remember the character's name in The Natural. Can you remember, Lance?
Bump Bailey.
Bump Bailey, that's right. Bump
Ran
Bailey.
right through the center field
Ran through
wall.
the center field wall, and they spread his ashes. Do you remember the next home game? They fly over and spread his ashes. He's Bump Bailey, and he's typical Michael Madsen, right? He's just kind of this dry, smart aleck dude. Bump Bailey in The Natural. That'd be my favorite.
Mine's probably his role in Kill Bill as Bud. So that's probably my favorite Tarantino movie.
Yeah, it's kind of underrated when you think about Tarantino films now.
Yeah, everybody always goes to Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and now I guess Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I think Kill Bill is still my favorite.
Third down.
It is the 10-year anniversary of the release of the Minions movie. So what's the most annoying movie or TV show that your kids have gotten into?
Boy, Chicken Little. It was the first soundtrack that Leighton had.
Oh, that movie, it was the Spice Girls song that was on it. Is that the one you're talking about?
But Zach Braff was the voice of Chicken Little. But they had some R&B. I mean, it was a pretty good soundtrack. But she wore the movie and the soundtrack into the ground. And when you look back on that, you're like, oh man, I'd love to have one more day like that. But in the moment, it'd wear you out.
My son never watched the same shows at all. He would literally read or draw or
watching 60 Minutes
or do other things, play on the computer. My daughter, though, like me, was always entertained by television, and the Teletubbies were really big for her at that time. And it was absolutely the most annoying show. Like, I would try to hide the memory of like I would suggest other shows so she wouldn't get the Teletubbies on her own. Like, hey, you want to watch Bear in the Big Blue House? You want to watch pick something else. Dora the Explorer.
I like Bear in the Big Blue House.
Was fantastic.
You know what was terrible was Barney. We had the Barney moment too, and she had the what was it? Baby Bob, Barney, and what was the other dumb one? But she had all three of those animals. What was it? BJ.
Yeah. Luckily, she never liked Barney for some reason.
Oh, it was awful.
But Teletubbies was horrible.
Before I answer, there's a question in the chat room. Are you saying you're annoyed by the Minions? You don't like the Minions?
Oh, yeah, I hate the Minions.
I think they're funny. I like those movies.
They're terrible.
Mine absolutely has to be Max and Ruby. My oldest daughter watched Max and Ruby, and Ruby was a total B. And all she did is just ride Max. Max, go do this. Max, go do that. Max, go do... I mean, I was pulling for the episode where Max snapped and just cut her head off. But it never happened. And my oldest liked it for some reason, and I hated it.
This might make sense.
One too. Max would just be like sitting in the floor playing with a truck.
Yeah.
And then
she would just come
comes in and starts yelling at him.
just come ride his tail on something.
So Jack loved Max and Ruby, which was really weird. But Jack was also Leighton's biggest hype man. And maybe it was because he was afraid that Leighton would go Ruby on him.
Maybe so.
If he wasn't her hype man. Now that makes sense. Now that I think it out a little bit.
If you had an older sister, you were scared she was Ruby.
I was right there with you. I never understood
terrible show.
Why they watched that. The parents weren't around either, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's why what was going on when you weren't in the room. Maybe Leighton was Rubying up.
That's right. She was bossing Max around.
And so when you were around, that's why he was in line, hyping her up.
Fourth down.
Since today is the release of the new Superman movie, who's your favorite comic book character?
Growing up, it was Aquaman. I'm kind of indifferent now. And I like Wolverine because of the Logan movie.
Is G.I. Joe considered a comic book character?
No, I wouldn't. I think that started as a toy line first.
Is He-Man considered a comic character?
You know, close enough.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to tap out if you say no. I'm done.
You going Skeletor?
No, I liked He-Man.
I could not stand comic books. I never liked comic books. I enjoyed reading the very short form comic strip in the newspaper back in the day.
Family Circus.
I never liked comic book.
Did you like the Family Circus
forum guy?
Did you like the Family Circus where you saw where the kid went? It was like the dotted lines everywhere you went. You remember that? You didn't like that one?
No.
What was your favorite comic strip?
My favorite comic strip. I liked them all. I always found one funny because it made my grandfather laugh. It was like a bad soldier.
Beetle Bailey.
Yeah.
Beetle Bailey, and he had the sergeant that would get all over him.
Yeah. And it would make my grandfather laugh for some reason.
Isn't that crazy? Because I remember my old man looking at newspapers, sometimes the funny papers. Like that form of entertainment.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine it now. Sitting on the shitter laughing at that thing.
3 photos with a thought bubble, and you laughed at it. Yeah.
Like I like there's a tiger.
Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, no.
I like that none one doesn't know the name of any of them.
Those were always good, too.
Cat.
Yeah. That was always good. The Clemson mascot and that little kid. That was always good.
Yeah, no, that one's my favorite.
Before the Clemson mascot got hooked on meth, that's what he was
You ever
doing.
see one of those peeing on, was it a Jeff Gordon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
On every truck in town.
That's our 4 downs today, and the show brought to you in part today by our friends at Company Distilling. If you're ready for football season coming up and you're looking for a new bourbon or a new whiskey to roll out at the tailgate, make it Company Distilling.
It really is fantastic. And Jeff Arnett, the master distiller, is going to be back in town with us. I think it's going to be Wisconsin week. We'll give you more information. We are going to be doing a live Bama and bourbon, though, on location in Tuscaloosa, so looking forward to that. But Company Distilling, pick up one of their varieties. ABC stores across Alabama, states like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, and South Carolina. If you're looking for that summer road trip worth toasting to, Company Distilling has 3 must-visit distillery destinations across Tennessee. Thompson Station, just outside of Nashville, historic Lynchburg, and Townsend in the heart of the Smoky Mountains. Take a tour, enjoy a flight of award-winning whiskey, sip on a craft cocktail, soak it all in with the best of company. Plan your visit at companydistilling.com. All ages welcome. Must be 21 or older to sample. Please enjoy responsibly. Pick up a bottle this weekend of Company Distilling.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the show always for all 989 of them, brought to you by Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, Alabama. We just saw Thompson Stadium just a few blocks from where Sterling is located, that same location for over a decade. You can swing by there and get that chicken that's brined overnight, cooked to order, hand-cut chicken fingers. You can just imagine how perfect that is for your tailgating this football season or your watch parties. The Mississippi Delta recipe tamales and everything that you get for lunch now open. Also dinner, happy hours, office parties, office meetings. He does it all. It's all right there, championschchicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and say hi to Sterling. Earlier, I gave you Pro Football Focus's top 10 coaches, and Kalen DeBoer was on that list. Every hot seat that's out there right now has the other side of the state on it, Hugh Freeze. I forget which one I gave you, Forrester. Was it CBS Sports that I gave you?
It is CBS Sports.
Okay, they broke it down. This is CBS. On 3 has one that looks like this. America's hottest seat is Sonny Cumbie at Louisiana Tech. And then the next list, now or never. Brent Venables, Trent Dilfer, golfing.
Is that Dilfer's handicap, though, the 4.44?
No.
No, it's better than that.
Better than that. Mike Gundy, Brent Brennan, Sam Pittman, Hugh Freeze on that list, Brent Pry, and Scott Satterfield. The perception out there of the gap between Kalen DeBoer job security and Hugh Freeze's job security seems to be Grand Canyon-esque, mammoth, the Pacific Ocean. Is there really that big of a gap between where Kalen DeBoer's career is and Hugh Freeze's career is as far as hot seat and job security?
Okay, imagine this scenario. Kalen DeBoer wins a national championship in year 2. I think he's probably number 2 on that list behind Kirby Smart. But imagine if Kalen DeBoer goes 9-3 again and loses at Auburn, and Hugh Freeze goes 9-3. How different are those 9-3s?
No, I mean, those are massively different.
And then you have Alabama fans talking about in year 3, this guy ain't getting it done.
That's an exciting 9-3 on one side where the future feels bright, and that's a disappointing 9-3 on one side where it's like this is his prove it year in year 3.
And by the way, neither one of those are out of the imagination.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be absolutely floored if either team's 9-3.
Now, there are extenuating circumstances in the reason you find these guys where they are. I mean, first of all, for DeBoer, he's had more success than Hugh Freeze, and he's in only year 2 at Alabama. And Your one was a disaster in Nick Saban, Alabama terms. It wasn't like an overall disaster in college football terms. There are a lot of programs that would have taken Alabama's year last year. It's just that's not what Alabama is accustomed to.
Yeah, I mean, the last team
Alabama
out
won't take Alabama's year last year.
in the college football playoff in year one. I mean, 90% of programs say that's a successful year.
Yeah. Hugh Freeze has had 2 disappointing years and right now is struggling in recruiting for whatever reason. If you want to believe it's because his school is limiting him and they're making the right choice in doing so or whatever, or he's playing too much golf. Whichever one you want to believe, he's struggling in his right now, this snapshot, this moment in time. But Dunaway, there's also a massive difference in buyouts. I mean, Hugh Freeze has a very Auburn-friendly buyout, and Kalen DeBoer's buyout would be a fortune right now. So, I mean, there are a lot of reasons that you don't see him mentioned anywhere in those terms. I think it's fair with Hugh Freeze, don't you, though?
Yeah, I was just talking about the gap there, that we seem to be at 2 extremes right now, and I was really angling toward trying to get to the conversation what LT was saying, 2 9-3s, and it's going to feel very different, and that gap will close quickly there.
I mean, what would it take for DeBoer to be fired before Freeze?
First of all, Hugh to start winning and recruiting better.
I mean, that would be the first step, 9-3, 9-3.
Yeah, but there is cases where you could lose your job in Tuscaloosa and never have a losing record.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, last year felt like a losing record for Alabama.
No, if you have 3 straight 9-4 seasons, I think he's out.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either.
Did, I would agree.
Yeah, all this is coming at a good time when Alabama may be a national champion when this is said and done.
Could be. You don't know. I mean, but I'm with you.
I mean, would you guys feel better Alabama wins the national championship or Auburn goes 9-3 in the regular season? I think it's a fair question.
It's a fair question.
I mean, I could see Auburn at 9-3, but I would be less surprised, I think, Alabama winning the national champion than I would be Auburn 9-3.
Well, that's a big statement.
God, I mean, both are fantastic seasons. I mean, for Auburn standards, to be 9-3 after a 5-7, it's a big turnaround.
Yeah, it's a big turnaround, yeah. I mean, you would feel like it's headed in the right direction at that point, assuming, like a lot of people think, is that the recruiting improves tremendously rating-wise by the time all is said and done.
It's just that tough of a league. It really is. And you can lose 3 games before you know it.
Well, if you were to go 9-3, I mean, let's say Alabama and Georgia are 2 of the losses.
I mean, that's a problem in and of itself, though. That would be, 6 straight to Alabama, and it feels like Auburn hasn't beaten Georgia. I mean, 2017 was the last time.
Yeah, I mean, really, 9-3, and if you lose either A&M or Oklahoma, like, where are the good wins?
I mean, at some point,
let me pull this back a little bit.
At some point, an Auburn coach, to remain in good graces, has got to figure out how to beat Alabama or Georgia. Auburn has not beaten Alabama since 2019. They've not beaten Georgia since 2017. You just can't. You can put up all the records you want until you've beaten those teams. And probably beating them more than once, people aren't going to get off that.
Where is the excitement meter if Auburn is 9-3 and their losses are Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama? So your wins would be at Baylor, at A&M, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt.
There's no excitement in that. There's not a good win in that bunch.
And you basically doubled your win total or close to it.
Yeah, I mean, like A&M might finish ranked. Are any of those other teams going to be in the top 25?
Missouri, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, just interesting as we wake up that you got the 2 extremes in our state when you see that. There's that Auburn schedule for you there. That gets us to our Shannara Spotlight today, brought to you by Alexander Shannara. A couple more college football, and then we're going to talk some uniforms in the National Football League, a fun ranking that's out there. But Shannara, hit it.
The College Football Spotlight.
Alexander Shannara was a little early offsides on me. 5-yard penalty. Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys and national firm with Southern roots. They are right here in Birmingham. That is Alexander's community. One thing he wanted to do was create a firm that could handle any issue his community faced. The firm now handles not only any personal injury claims, you know about that, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara trial attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com. Shannara.com.
When the media falls in love with something, it can just raise it up to an unbearable level sometimes. And this has happened in the course of, it was good. I enjoyed it the first year. Last year it became unbearable. And we're going to see them at the opening game coming up in 44 days in Ireland. But the Pop-Tart Bowl mascots are going to be at the Kansas State-Iowa State game. That announcement came yesterday. Crazy good greetings from Ireland. They're sending the 2 Pop-Tart mascots over for the opening college classic game between Kansas State and Iowa State. Neither one of those teams, I think, can even play in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Well, I was going
right?
to say Matt Campbell and Chris Kleiman would throw up if they were in the Pop-Tart Bowl, right? I mean, their expectation is getting to a college football playoff.
But those that mascot and that bowl got a lot of love last year from people that cover the sport, and it just is way overdone in my opinion.
Yeah,
that and the Duke's Mayo has become way overdone.
I'm with you on the Duke's
opinion.
Mayo thing.
Yeah, I love Duke's Mayo. I used some yesterday on a sandwich.
Oh, I love the product.
Yeah. I get it.
The overhype of the bowl game and these Pop-Tarts. I love a Pop-Tart.
That's what I was going to say. I like a Pop-Tart too. I don't like the fudge and the chocolates. I like the berries more.
I'm with you, and definitely don't like the ones without icing. It's just you may as well be.
I think this one in Ireland, they should do like a Shamrock Shake type one, and then they should do a potato pancake Pop-Tart.
Okay. The potato pancake sounds awful. The Shamrock Shake, I might try.
Have you ever had a potato pancake?
You know I've not, Tyler.
They're pretty good.
Okay.
I think they should do one that is flavored like a Guinness.
Oh, that's one way to go too.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Well, Kansas State and Iowa State have both been in this bowl recently.
Have they really?
Yeah.
So I got confused on the Duke's Mayo. Who could play in that one?
That's right. So Kansas, so Iowa State,
Miami last year.
Yeah,
right?
you might not have realized you were watching the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That was one of the best bowl games we had. That was a dang track meet.
Yeah.
Now, Cam Ward, that's the game he played the first half and didn't play the second half. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
I don't think I watched the Pop-Tart Bowl last year.
And then the year before it was Kansas State and NC State.
Not sure I watched.
I mean, they
either.
actually made Pop-Tarts on site. I remember our buddy Cole Kubelik was doing sidelines.
Yeah, the mascot was edible, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was a very large edible mascot.
Yeah.
Insert your joke here. But I think this used to be the Tangerine Bowl, Jim.
In Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Camping
actually,
World?
no, I can tell you what it used to be. This is the old, you remember the old school Blockbuster Bowl? It was played in Miami? That's what this is now. This started as the Blockbuster Bowl.
Is this just, I mean, I don't understand the association with the Pop-Tarts going over for this game in Ireland, but is it trying to introduce Pop-Tarts to a different country?
Why not?
But they like meat in their pies, don't they?
Generally,
They
yes.
do have some of that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine eating a Pop-Tart with meat in it?
Meat-flavored Pop-Tart.
I mean, you say no meat, no meal.
Ugh, Shepherd's Pie Pop-Tart sounds terrible, though.
LSU could be getting a big recruit today. 5-star athlete Lamar Brown's likely going to choose LSU over Texas A&M. When you see 5-star athlete, you usually think what? Quarterback, receiver?
Oh, yeah, defensive back.
Yeah.
I mean, throw him out there to return kicks. I mean, this guy, give him ball, let him go, and we'll find a position. I get excited about those 5-star athlete guys, though.
5-star athlete, he's likely going to end up being an offensive lineman. That's how agile and fast he is.
How big is he?
I don't have the size there.
That was the most incredible guy that I ever saw that really translated and could play all those things was Brian Urlacher at New Mexico. And I remember it was Dirty Windshield because it was the old ESPN game plan. And I was watching New Mexico games. And Urlacher, I think he was number 11. He returned punts. He'd line up in the slot. He was a dominant linebacker. But, I mean, he was a legitimate, 5-star, 5-tool guy.
Let's talk NFL uniforms. USA Today ranked them 1 through 32 because we have a couple of alternate uniforms that were introduced yesterday. It's brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Tell us about New York Butcher.
Hey, the weekend is almost here again. You're looking for a great place to pick up the meats to grill out. You can get it from the New York Butcher Shop. 2 locations, Cahaba Heights, the original, Highway 119 in Greystone. From the fresh meat, specialty items, the delicious sides made in-house, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts, one-stop dinner shop. Get in, see Jim and the fine folks. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Okay, before Forrester, and this is a USA Today ranking of them. Let's see, it's Nate Davis who does this for USA Today. For you guys, the worst uniform in the National Football League around the board. I don't know if Tyler wants to chime in, but Forrester chime in. Brown, LT, I'll do the same. Who is the worst uniform in your opinion?
I mean, it's really close between two. I'll just give you one, and then I can circle back on the other. But I associate these two together. But I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay. So you also throw in the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
Okay. They came in the league together, right?
And it's like, let's let a couple of kids put these uniforms together. They're awful.
I'm not saying this for effect. It's the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
Because they changed them.
Well, it's just a bad uniform. I mean, whether they changed it or not, Miami has a terrible uniform. And it is highlighted more by the fact, Jim, that their classic uniform looks so good. And anytime they wear it, people love it. And their current one is so bad.
I would say that I don't notice the bad logo until you point it out when I'm watching the games.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a Costa Rican airline.
It doesn't bother me as much. Forrester, do you have a least favorite uniform? For some reason, I've never liked the Vikings. I don't know why.
Oh, wow. Really? I like that one.
Great.
Yeah, I got no issue with the Vikings.
Yeah.
I hate the Saints so much that all things Saints.
Oh, that's a good uniform.
It's a great.
I always like their uniform.
That's a good uniform,
great.
Scott. I know you're a Falcons guy.
I mean, if we're just going on hideousness, LT's right. It's the Jags.
Yeah, Jags are bad.
It's the Jags far and away.
Gosh, the Jags ran away with this
It's
thing.
terrible.
And I'll tell you,
logo,
the New England
terrible color
Patriots
scheme.
recent, the old school's great, but the New England Patriots recent is terrible too.
USA Today's worst uniform, and I disagree with this, is the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, that's not even
It's a classic.
close. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Then they go the Carolina Panthers. Then they go the Washington Commanders. Now the Commanders, they've had to adjust a little bit. And yesterday they made the announcement that they're going to bring back the Super Bowl era looking uniforms. And the only thing that's going to be different for them is the lack of the Redskin logo. Now it's the W, the Washington Commanders, but that is a good-looking uniform.
Classic.
If of theirs. Now, I like their alternate uniform when they are all black and they've got this 3-star helmet on the front. That's a good-looking uniform.
I just don't like the black combo in there.
I'm not a fan of the color scheme there, but that is a classic uniform.
Yeah,
man. That looks like the NFL I grew up on.
They dicked up the helmet, though.
Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree with me that when a team wins, the uniform isn't as bad, and then when they start losing, the uniform all of a sudden looks bad?
I always thought the Patriots, though, and these Tom Brady Super Bowls was a terrible uniform.
Yeah, their losing uniform was better.
I do agree with that. 29. Nobody complained about these uniforms when Eddie George was running, but the Tennessee Titans on USA Today is at 29. But when it was McNair and Eddie George, that didn't seem like a bad uniform.
Yeah, look, the crazy thing is they had one of the best classic uniforms. And I know, when you go from Houston to Memphis and then ultimately to Nashville, they didn't want to bring that brand, but there's oil in every city. Now, you might not be able to find it in the ground, but Jiffy Lube, gas station, wherever.
Yeah. Like if they were the Tennessee Oilers.
I can take it.
I can too.
I mean, how many Titans are in Tennessee?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the Titans are, but if they were if they were the Tennessee Oilers, you wouldn't.
To your point, there's more oil in Tennessee than there are lakes in L.A.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are.
But, I mean, did it ever bother you?
Or Charlie Dodgers.
Or Charlie Dodgers, yeah.
Did it ever bother you growing up that the Utah Jazz were the Jazz? You just accepted that they were the Jazz. Like I've said this on the show before, it was well into my teenage years before I realized they're the Jazz because they started in New Orleans. And that made sense in New Orleans. It didn't make sense in Utah, but you know what? It didn't bother me. I still watched the games. Karl Malone.
Talking about Eli Manning and the 1%, he was talking about buying the Giants. Let's say that you had majority ownership of the Titans tomorrow. What's the first thing you do?
I would see if I could change the name back to the Oilers.
No, I would just change the uniforms at least.
Yeah, I would. I've never liked their logo either.
Patriots are 28, and I agree with you guys. Everything you said. Jaguars 27, Arizona Cardinals 26, 25 Baltimore Ravens. Never liked them.
Yeah, the Ravens uniforms.
Yeah,
they're okay.
I don't hate them.
They're just a little junky.
I never liked the name. I was around when the Browns moved there. Well, you were too. Browns moved there, and I felt like we worked too hard on that name.
It was
Ravens.
all because of Edgar Allan Poe being from Baltimore, which is kind of a weird reason to name a team the Ravens, but it's never bothered me.
Yeah.
It's a weird reason to pick it.
It is. I don't know another example of a city that would name something after such a random individual.
After a poet that's a pretty dark poet, by the way.
Right.
24 is the Falcons. I think that may be too low for them.
I like it, Scott, when you guys go with the red helmet and the black bird. That is your best look.
Yeah, I agree. I think they screwed up the uniform a while back.
The
I don't
ATL?
like the matte black and the ATL.
The ATL's awful.
Yeah, your Steve Bartkowski era is your best era. Yeah,
that on the red the red uni.
Yep,
is
and the silver pan every now and then.
Yeah.
20, basically the Georgia uniform.
Pretty much Georgia, yeah.
23 is the New York Giants. I sort of like those.
That's way low.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Giants
yeah.
got a good uniform.
I didn't like when, the LT, the 80s Parcells. I didn't like the block Giants.
I'm with you on that.
I like
The
when they
NY.
brought it back with the NY.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22 is the Dolphins. 21's the Denver Broncos.
Old school.
I like the old one
I think
better.
the Broncos screwed theirs up.
I agree.
Bad.
Yeah, the horse coming through the D is their better logo.
Chicago Bears 20.
That's a classic
it's okay.
uniform.
Yeah.
I like their uniform. I don't like any of their alternates.
No, I like their normal uniform,
Yeah.
the Jim McMahon Super Bowl uniform.
Same with Detroit. I like the Detroit Lions. I don't like any of their alternates. When they go blue, the
Hawaiian blue Detroit
Yeah,
Lions.
I
is
like
fantastic.
when they go blue helmet.
No, I don't
their
like
color
that.
rush.
No, their color rush.
I don't know any color.
Anybody's
rushes I
color
like,
rush is awful. Yeah.
Buffalo Bills is 18.
Oh, I think the Bills got a really
Yeah,
good
you
uniform.
really like theirs. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's going to be hard to get a bad one now. 17's the Packers. 16's the Houston Texans.
Nah, I don't like theirs.
Yeah, I like theirs, except
the all red is awful.
I wish they'd gone with the white helmet, which was their first helmet they had for their first draft. Was the white helmet they had setting out for the draft.
Being very patriotic here, back to the Bills and the Texans. The red, white, and blue scheme's hard to not be good.
I was about to say, I've got a friend that says that. Like the red, white, and blue is almost impossible to screw up.
Yeah,
yet
it really is.
Houston somehow does it.
The LA Rams is 15th.
It's not true.
Your older
now
one
the
was better.
helmet, it's much like what you say with the Dolphins. The colors pop. There it is. Look at it. You just showed it. Beautiful uniform, but the weird horns, how they jack that up, looking like bananas.
Yeah.
Is the only reason that I can stomach that it's fallen this
So
far.
many NFL teams have overthought this. Their 80s and 90s uniforms were so good.
Yeah, I always wonder if that was because that's when you were.
I think it's
a
part
kid.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say Dolphins fans almost universally hate it. Stephen Ross, Jim, is the only person apparently that likes the uniform. If you read people that cover the team, they're like, it is one of the, I mean, there are many things to be upset about as a Dolphins fan, but the universal thing is the uniform. And like Joe Shad and people that cover the team are like, Stephen Ross loves it, and he's the only one that loves it. But guess what? That's the only one that has to love it. The guy who owns the team.
I will die on this hill. The Bengals do not have a better uniform than the Rams. Impossible. And the same with your Bucks.
Yeah, I agree on the Cincinnati side. I try to educate you on the show. The LA Rams, you know this, their iconic horns became the first logo to adorn an NFL helmet back in 1984. Nobody had a logo in their helmet until the Rams did it.
They actually painted it on the leather.
Wait a minute. And what year?
1948.
Oh, you said 84. I was like, no, that is impossible. So 48.
Yeah, 48.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
The Chiefs are 14 on this list.
I don't love it, don't hate it.
I kind of like their red.
I don't think
though.
they've ever changed, though.
I think
have
it's
they?
a good red, though.
I think they're one of the few franchises that is their uniform from day one.
The list can be thrown out right here because I don't like the team, but the 49ers are 13th on this list.
Jim, that's a good uniform.
That's a very good
Great uniform.
Yeah.
Cowboys are 12th on this list.
I don't like the blue-gray pant. And I know it's tradition for
Oh, you're
them.
talking about their actual normal pant. It's
Yeah.
not silver.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
gray.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
weird
It's
color.
a color that I would never wear.
Yeah, I don't know what color it is, but that is I don't like the Cowboys one bit, but that's a traditional uniform.
And I do know the helmet is somewhat plain to some, but that star is pretty cool.
Yeah. 11 is the Colts, speaking of plain.
I like those.
Yep. The Jets are 10th.
Yeah,
and they're
that's
going by
overrated.
the one they threw back to the 80s, which I think is inferior to the ones from the 60s, which they brought back more recently, the Curtis Martin Jets. And now they've gone back to the ones from the 80s in the Sack Exchange, which is the worst one that they went away from because people thought that was bad.
Yeah, I've never liked the Jets uniform.
Yeah, it's like a weird, like Camaro green
Yeah.
it just doesn't work.
Yep. The Vikings never have changed their helmet. They're 9th.
I'm surprised you have that strong feelings negatively against the Vikings uniform. I've always thought that was a really good uniform.
Never loved them. The Bengals are 8th.
That's awful.
Yep.
I mean, do you guys? I mean, that's one of the worst. It should be in the bottom 5.
That helmet is unique, though, man. I mean, there's not another helmet like that Bengals helmet.
When I was a kid, it was just a plain helmet like the
It just
Browns
said
with
Bengals,
stenciled,
right?
with the stenciled Bengals on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's way too loud. And when they go all whites, it's really bad.
My Buccaneers are 7.
Well, I don't think you're wearing your best one right now is the problem.
Yeah, I don't either.
You're the Warwick Dunn era pewter scooter is the best one.
I like the creamsicle.
That's the one we went back to, the 2002s.
When did you go back to the 02s?
When Brady came.
Okay.
When Brady signed, he said, "I'll play if we go back to the 2002s."
Did he really? He pushed
it was his suggestion to go back to the 2s.
The alternative pirate doesn't bother me. I like the old school creamsicle.
Yeah, I don't mind the creamsicle. I like the logo and the helmet better now. Seattle is 6. You guys have always loved that.
Their old one's better. Yeah, the Steve Largent era.
Good to see a good helmet, though.
Yeah. Saints are 5. They threw out some alternatives. Forster has those this week.
I think it's just the helmet.
Yeah, the white helmet. Don't like it.
that.
I like the helmet way more.
No, they got a good helmet. Don't mess with their helmet.
You like the white helmet better than Saints?
That gold
100%.
helmet. That gold helmet's really
that's
good.
not a bad look for an alternate, but no. You've got the top, the 4's the Eagles. Their Kelly Green, to me, is their best.
No, you're talking about the Randall Cunningham era?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. Randall Cunningham, Reggie White era.
Yeah, they
had it right.
They've got too many greens.
I agree.
Like I'm looking right. Well, I just showed a highlight of a Giants-Eagles game, but that really dark green, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, but the Reggie White
Kelly Green.
Yeah. I mean, it was a much lighter green. They have gone much darker.
Well, they brought it back this year for a couple of games. It looked great.
Harold Carmichael. Okay, the top 3 according to USA Today. Number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's classic. I mean,
it's a classic look.
It is. I can't argue. That's a good color scheme.
Hats off to Forster for putting Aaron Rodgers up there.
Yeah, I noticed. Like Lance said, unique helmet, logo only on one side. There's a story behind that. That's a solid uniform. I can't argue.
And they went tie for first.
Oh boy. You cannot
Yeah,
have the Chargers as the best uniform.
Raiders and Chargers are tied. Raiders
That's
first.
a great uniform.
That's a great uni right there.
Again, I like the whites a little bit more.
And they put the Chargers up there with the Raiders.
No.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
that
a good
powder
uniform.
blue is one of the best jerseys.
Yeah, that's a good uniform right there, Lance. I'm not saying it's number 1, but that's a good uniform.
It's better than the
I'm
old
saying it's
dark
number
blue.
1.
Yeah.
So, Lance, you're saying the Stan Humphrey Super Bowl dark blue you hated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That's their best uniform right there.
Yeah, the navies are not good. These are awesome.
But see, they have made their powder blues a little darker, much like UCLA
I
has,
agree.
by the way.
Yeah.
I miss when it was almost like they overwashed them.
Like if
they
you
got those and then they washed them on hot.
So, like if you
take that color out.
If you went to Dan Fouts back in the day, you're saying they don't look the same.
Yeah.
What do you
They
like?
don't. That dark navy blue helmet with the bolt wasn't as good. Now, I think it's a top 10 uniform. I just don't think it's the best.
USA Today with that list of uniforms there. Show today being brought to you by our friends Dr. B. They've got LT's hair ready for next week, getting ready for SEC Media Days. Tell us about Dr. B, and we'll get to trash coming up on the other side.
Dr. B, look, if you're starting to thin out, it doesn't matter what the age is. You need to be preemptive on this. Get ahead of it. Make the phone call, 205-319-0316. By the way, if your boyfriend, your husband, your brother, you start to see them thin out a little bit, maybe they're tall like me, and it's on the crown of the head and they can't really see it, tell them, hey, man, you're starting to thin out. You're giving them a heads up, and then they can call Dr. B at 205-319-0316, t3hair.net. Do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That's all I am doing. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. B. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net for more information.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Trash coming up here in just a second. Got a couple of more NFL things I want to get out here today. Before that, though, Houston and Central Florida both say they'd be okay starting a rivalry game series with each other. Okay. Try to play it every year.
Okay.
Houston and Central Florida.
Yeah, they're okay with being a billionaire.
Natural rivalry.
Both Big 12, right?
Yeah, they are. It's a conference game. I mean,
what would make it a rivalry, Brown?
It's 2 shitty cities, in my opinion.
I don't know.
They're talking about maybe playing annually for the Space Cup.
Not going to do a whole lot for me. But
it is an angle.
There is an angle, both NASA cities.
And the MVP gets to go in space like Katy Perry did.
Yeah, that's what you ought to do.
Yeah.
They ought to do the trophy presentation in the space station. They float it over.
By the way, Ross Dellinger says on Monday there were 1,200 NIL cases being worked at Deloitte, and a certain number had been approved. 80 had been denied and will be resubmitted for a second go at it. And if they are turned down a second time, they move to arbitration. I didn't know that was the process. That So if you get turned down, you can sort of rework it and resubmit it. And if you get turned down again, then it goes to arbitration. Then if the arbitration folks turn it down, what happens? I don't know.
I don't know. And here's the thing. Like, if you go to arbitration in Major League Baseball, you've got a blueprint. Like, we know what a 300 average and 30 home runs, and you kind of got this stuff slotted. But, like, what do you really know one of these guys is worth?
That's right.
There was what is being called a major decision, I guess, by the College Sports Council that's running all of this today. I'm just going to encourage people that cover college football, go read it. It's in-depth, it's taxing, but a lot of people are saying that this is what's going to separate those that are already cheating versus those that are doing it the right way right now. So go read that for yourself.
That August 1st, Ross Dellinger has the reporting on it. I've seen it floating around. I'm sure Pete Thamel does as well. On August 1st deadline coming up when it comes to who and how you're being paid and what. But basically, the collectives are marketing people now. They've got to go out and find real brands and real businesses to support the money that are being paid to the athletes.
Yeah, again, we can help out with that.
Yeah, really. Nicole Auerbach of the Big Ten Network, she sums it up this way. Basically, they're saying collectives with a business purpose of just providing payments or benefits to athletes or institutions rather than the purpose of providing goods or services to the general public for profit don't satisfy the NIL deals.
That's right.
So in other words, the way I read this, a collective can't just pay somebody. It's got to be a true business paying somebody. You got to have a trail of paperwork to a true business.
And so this is about transparency, but all of these, much like Devin Booker, who's getting $72.5 million a year, these are public numbers now. When do we get public numbers from what these guys are getting paid? That's what I want to see.
Oh, I can't wait either. I'd love to see that too. But again, if you're watching us and you're a football program that needs help with Deloitte, we can do that for you.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Just call us up and we can give you a price point on how much.
Matt Rule, if he's watching,
That's
he
right,
might
Matt.
be.
We love you, Matt.
We can help you out.
We can help anywhere. Yeah, Kalen, Hugh.
And we travel.
If somebody would tell Trent on the first tee, we could help him out too.
Good. Might see him tomorrow.
The show being brought to you by our friend Alexander Shannara. One more thing before we get to trash. Tell us about Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys.
Alexander's a Birmingham guy. This is his community. He wants to make sure his community is taken care of, and he is there for you. You never pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shannara.
Who was his roommate in college?
His roommate in college was the shooter, Andy Kennedy.
It was.
That's
yeah,
right.
We had a nice dinner last night, and he was talking about AK.
Yeah.
And he's just got incredible stories, which the more we get to know Alexander, the more we'll share some of these stories with you.
He's recovered more than $2 billion. That's the story now, maintaining these core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. So when you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
All right, so quickly, these 10 future bets that you need to bet right now in the NFL.
Okay.
Tell me if you agree with these. These are 10 future bets you need to go right now and make a bet in the NFL because these numbers will change.
Joe Burrow to win the MVP.
Bijan Robinson to lead the NFL in rushing yards. Plus 1,100 you can get this right now.
I love Bijan. If you went total yards from scrimmage, I could buy it. I wonder what the commitment to the run is going to be this year with Penix and with some really good receivers. I don't know. I guess I could buy it.
Okay. The Miami Dolphins under 6.5 wins.
Oh,
they're saying run to the window and bet it now.
Run to the window for the Dolphins under 6.5.
I mean, you know this. It's a pivotal year for Mike McDaniel.
100%.
If you were to tell me that Tua gets hurt in September, early October, then yeah.
It's always a possibility, but you can't bet on that.
Yeah, but if not, I think the offense is too efficient, and 6.5 is a low number.
Yeah, I would not run to the way, and I'm as biased as it gets in this conversation, but there's no way I'd run to the window to bet on that.
CBS Sports, 10 run-to-the-window moments. Bengals to miss the playoffs at plus 130.
There's your guy, Joe Burrow.
Run to the window.
I don't know about that. Hey, can I back it up to the Dolphins?
Yes.
Is their win total 6.5?
It is at...
well, I hope not.
I don't think that's possible.
Under 6.5 wins, plus 170 at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Okay, well, you got the plus 170 on the backside, so it means it's probably 7.5 or 8.
That's where I thought I had seen it was 7.5.
What was the last one done away? Sorry.
Bengals to miss the playoffs.
You know, this is a guy that led the NFL in passing yards last year. It's amazing that some people don't consider him a top 5 quarterback. I don't know how much better the defense is going to be. Probably not much better. It's got to be a little bit better, though. So I think they make the playoffs.
10 run to the window bets now. You can get these best odds. Mike Evans over 925.5 receiving yards of the Buccaneers.
What's he, 53 now, Mike Evans?
Age-wise, yeah.
He's been in the league a while, hasn't he?
He has, and has suffered some injuries.
I will tell you, man, he is so freaking consistent, and he is one of the greatest we've ever seen.
Another offensive coordinator change.
And you are still relying on a quarterback that nobody, although he's been good the last couple of years, nobody gives him any credit. But Mike Evans, you know the last time he went under that number?
His freshman year at Texas A&M.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's never done it. He's had a 1,000-yard season plus every year in the NFL. I know in 2013 he did with A&M. He probably did in 12.
Now, Godwin's back, deep receiving core, but they seem to make a point to get the ball to Mike Evans when he's healthy.
Yeah.
And he did it like last year. He only played in 14 games and had over 1,000 yards.
Run to the window, 10 bets, CBS Sports NFL. New England Patriots to make the playoffs. Plus 148.
To make the playoffs?
Run to the window?
My Lord. There's zero chance I'd run to the window on that
They
one.
are going to be much improved. I think Drake May is going to be the real deal, but I don't think they're going to make the postseason. The AFC's too tough.
Run to the window, plus 175. 49ers to win the NFC West.
As good as the Rams can be this year, I think the 49ers, the bounce back, and, talked about dinner last night. One of the guys, a big 49ers fan, shout out to Mitri. And we talked about how many, they were decimated by injuries. The 49ers are going to bounce back in a big way. So, yeah, I got no problem with that.
Run to the window, plus 1,400. Rashee Rice to win Comeback Player of the Year. Kansas City wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Run to the window, Devontae Adams, over 925.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I like where their head is on this one.
Do you? He's with the Rams.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's going to be such a focus on Puka. Devontae's numbers went backwards a little bit, but now he is in a very efficient offense, and he is going to be the number 2 option.
2 more. Run to the window, Denver Broncos over 9.5 wins.
I kind of like this one. When you made us pick a dark horse Super Bowl team or world champion, whichever way you worded it, I threw Denver out there. It's as far back as I'm willing to go. I think Denver's going to have a really good year.
Yeah,
I
do
like
too.
one.
I mean, the defense has always been good,
Yep.
and now you saw the emergence of Bo Nix last year, and so they've got a little confidence. He's a perfect quarterback in the Sean Payton system. I think they're probably 10-11 wins.
And the last one, Dak Prescott to throw for 4,000 plus yards. Over 4,000 yards.
Well, much like Tua, injury is always an issue with Dak Prescott, or always a concern. Maybe not always an issue, but always a concern. A healthy Dak Prescott has generally put up those numbers. Also like Tua, though, Jim, a lot of people have described those as empty calories. He puts those numbers up, but what do you have to show for it?
Okay, so Dak has played 6 full seasons of his 10 seasons. Of those 6, how many times has he gone over 4,000 yards?
At least once, I know.
Half those times, 3 times.
Yeah, see? But again, it's a lot of empty calories, though, right?
Yeah.
You guys didn't seem like y'all were running
Nope.
to the window so much there.
I was not on all those, no.
Run to our friends at Hemp Hill, not just heating and cooling. They do plumbing. If you got plumbing problems as well, before we do trash, tell us about Hemp Hill again.
Yeah, look, these problems arise. It's always an inopportune time. You hate wasting money on this, but here's the great thing. They're efficient, they're professional, and they're going to give you the best pricing out there. It's a reason Birmingham has trusted these guys since 1954. If you experience any of these issues in your home or business, call Adam, Chad, Andrew. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Get your hand off my penis!
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Weekend is almost here. If you're getting poolside, heading to the lake, the beach, pack that cooler full of delicious cold Bud Light. So, Billy McFarland, we all remember the Fire Fest.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, when you said the name, it took me a second, but yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't worry, be happy. But
this is Bobby McFerrin, yes.
an update on a story we had about a month or so ago. The brand is officially up for auction on eBay. Now, the founder took to social media to announce his previous deal to sell the IP has fallen through, causing him to put Fire back on the market. Quote, whoever owns the Fire brand will have the attention engine to launch festivals, do merch collabs, do insane pop-ups, run live streams, or build a media brand. Now, the auction kicked off with a starting bid of 1 cent, currently priced at over $200,000. As per the listing, the winning bidder will require the brand name, its festival domains, artist and talent relationships, and more. Now, brand name, registered trademarks, intellectual property, official social media accounts, comprehensive marketing assets, the Fire Festival domains, Caribbean Festival location option, all of this stuff is included. I will say, I don't know what you guys think. $200,000 seems a lot.
That's a bit high.
But if you did this right, like, I don't know anybody that doesn't know about this, really.
Yeah, there's name recognition.
There
to your
is.
point.
There is.
And if you were to bring this back and do it the right way with the merch, you could probably do a successful festival.
And guys, they spent a ton of time and money on that logo. So, I mean, that's worth something in and of itself.
I mean, that was Lance saying, hey, computer friend, give me a logo for Fire Festival for the next segment.
Grok.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just had to tell me what that is, I'm going to go manhole cover.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I don't really know.
An Australian rules football?
I'm going to say the call was out at Wimbledon. It looks like the ball hit it.
Just like that. When the crowd goes, ah!
But they smashed that. That's it should have been an ace. It's a 170-mile-an-hour serve. 42-year-old Metro Atlanta man facing multiple charges after officials say he knocked out another man, knocked him unconscious at Lake Lanier, the most haunted lake in the world. Tell me if this name sounds familiar. It happened on July 2nd. Logan Young, 42 years old.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I remember Logan Young. Great Alabama booster one day.
Yeah, accidentally fell up the stairs.
Yep.
And 2 women were on the victim's boat. Young stripped himself of all of his clothes in front of the victim and one of the women, leading to an argument.
Uh-oh.
Let's get naked.
Yep.
What are you doing here, buddy?
If it's your girl, it's one thing. If it's my girl, let's keep those clothes on.
During the argument, Young punched the 59-year-old in the chest and got off the boat. Now, according to the deputies, the 3 believe Young went back to his boat. The victim began walking the 2 women to the end of the dock. Young then appeared and threw a deep freezer at the victim.
Those things generally are large and seemingly heavy. That's quite a weapon of choice.
At least bulky.
The one in my grandmother's basement that we would keep, we'd slaughter a pig and we'd put or a cow and we'd put all the extra parts in there.
Did you participate in that?
No. But
hey, this is pretty incredible. So
they'd freeze it in that big thing.
Oh, yeah. No, my grandmom and granddad had one and it was full of garden vegetables. Frozen.
Oh, yeah. Frozen.
Full of it, yeah.
Absolutely.
So he threw the freezer. It hits the 59-year-old in the head. It knocked him out cold, and he fell into the lake.
Well, I would imagine so.
Now, when the
massive.
59-year-old regained consciousness, he swam to shore, suffering a large cut to his head. I love nobody jumped in after him.
Yeah.
Let's just hope he regains consciousness.
Bob, you swim on over there, Will.
He's floating.
Well, if you jump in after him, you might get hit with a deep freezer. He might have a second one ready to throw.
Well, I'm going to assume he only loaded one in the holster.
Around 3:15 a.m. the following morning, deputies got an arrest warrant for an aggravated assault. Deputies announced themselves several times, but said Young turned the boat lights off, silenced his phone. County deputies then entered the houseboat, found Young hiding under a bed. He was arrested, charged with aggravated assault, simple battery, public indecency, and 3 counts of obstruction of an officer. I am going to say that his high noons and his mushrooms together in that sun, that Georgia sun, is what got him sideways.
He's well tan. I mean, he's been out in it a minute. Boy, deep freeze. I'd like to know really how big the deep freeze was. When you say deep freeze, all I can think of is that big. It was probably, 6 feet long? 5, 6 feet long?
It was almost like a coffin.
Yeah, and it had the lid you would have to open up. That's all I can think of when you say deep freeze.
It's got to be bigger. I mean, what's the use of a small cooler? I understand carrying a 6-pack and a sandwich around.
Do they make mini deep freeze?
I would not think so.
I would think it's just...
That's about how big I think it was, Dunaway, like 6 to 8 feet.
Yeah, and then deep from my
probably
belly button
4 feet deep.
Yeah.
And you would open it, and the sides were covered in ice, right?
Oh, yeah.
They had ice crushed on there, and you just had all kinds of crap piled in there.
Yep.
The only time you see the deep freezer in a movie is when you got a dismembered body.
That is correct, yes, when you got to kill it.
I'm sort of wanting a deep freezer now for the garage.
What you going to put in it?
Nothing.
I guarantee you,
Frozen
by the
Chick-fil-A?
end of the day, one of our listeners or viewers will offer one up to you.
Have you ever had?
You just got to come pick it up.
I bet they drain that electric bill, don't they? That thing runs all the time.
I bet it does. Have you ever? I had a guy that wanted me to go in with him on a slaughtered cow. Have you ever had somebody?
Well, that's
offer
what we
that
would do. We didn't have our own cow.
You would just buy with somebody else. Yeah. I had a guy one time, and I was like, I just that sounds great, but I prefer just to go to New York Butcher Shop and get my steaks.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, if you air seal them and
and
do it right, I mean the cost effectiveness of it all. Now I'm told
sounds like a pain in the ass.
Well, you've committed to steak for a very long time. Yeah,
I'm told right now that last time SEC Media Days was in Atlanta, we had lunch with a guy who was in the cattle industry.
Oh yeah. I still stay in touch with him.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, text him after the show and ask if this is true.
I'll text him right now.
I saw 3 cattle ranchers somehow popped up on my TikTok feed the other night, and I was watching it. It was an interview, and they said that it's good for me, but he gave out some number for a head of cattle to go to the slaughterhouse, how much it's an all-time high right now. And he says, if you like steak, go stock up right now because you're about to not be able to afford steaks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what this guy on 60 Minutes said?
TikTok. Yeah, but it was 3 ranchers doing a podcast about...
Ironically enough, he owns a couple of New York butcher shops.
No, but he was like, I've got 3 pastures full of them, so it's good for me, but I don't know what it'll be like on the other side.
No, my buddy was involved, if you'll remember. He had that farm in Montana that was doing that, the Wagyu, the American Wagyu, that was on that strict grain diet, and it's as close to Japanese A5 as you can get in America.
But just text him afterwards and let us know if tomorrow we need to be running.
Remind me. Right, if we need to go buy some steaks.
Unique
in a deep freezer
here. Florida man was arrested after deputies said he tried to steal nearly $1,500 in merchandise from a Lowe's. He then hopped.
It's not real, is it?
Hopped on the back of a UPS truck to get away. Now, the sheriff's office said the suspect, identified as 31-year-old Michael DeVersa, tried to steal the merchandise on July 3rd, but abandoned the items and ran before deputies arrived. A short time later, deputies said they got a call from someone who saw a man riding on the back of a UPS truck. UPS driver stopped the truck, told the man to get off. Detectives with the sheriff's office said they tracked the suspect's movements, established that the man on the back of the truck was DeVersa. DeVersa was arrested and charged with shoplifting.
They'll never see me here.
He's got a smock on. About to get his hair cut.
I'm telling you, that's a horrible getaway plan.
No doubt.
Because it's going to stop like 2 houses down and make another delivery.
Yeah, and by the way, do you think anybody on that road is going to call 911 when they see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if that's a garbage truck, he's hanging on the back, I'm like, okay, he belongs.
Yeah, exactly.
But sitting on the back of a UPS, no.
Yeah.
I have never seen the movie Snakes on a Plane.
Me either.
I have thought about eating an edible on a good weekend night, late night, and watching this. Just because I heard
the TV version because there's some funny dubs they do to cover up Samuel L. Jackson cursing.
So you Mother Hubbard.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one line where Samuel L. Jackson says, "I'm tired of these
Mother Hubbard snakes on this Mother Hubbard plane."
It was like. I'm tired of these mother-father snakes on this Monday to Friday plane.
Yeah. Mother-father Monday to Friday.
Okay, I'm all in. How do I find the TV version?
Ask your
robot.
robot.
On YouTube TV where you can just search and watch like the FX version or whatever.
Brown's right, Jeeves. You've been good for a good run.
That's right.
But I got a robot now.
Lance has his own robot.
So an Australian domestic flight delayed for 2 hours after a stowaway snake was found in the plane's cargo hold, according to officials. Snake was found on Tuesday as passengers were boarding Virgin Australian flight VA337 at Melbourne, bound for Brisbane. Now, the snake turned out to be a harmless 2-foot green tree snake, but according to snake catcher Mark Pelly, he thought it could be venomous when he approached it in the darkened hole. Quote, I thought it was venomous until a point it looked very dangerous to me. Now, most of the world's most venomous snakes are native to Australia.
Yeah.
When Pelly entered the cargo hold, the snake was half hidden behind a panel and could have disappeared deeper into the plane. Pelly said that he told an aircraft engineer and airline staff that they would have to evacuate the aircraft if the snake disappeared inside of the plane.
Is that what above our cabin looks like in a plane?
Again, that's the under, right?
Or is that the under?
That's the under. That's where they put the luggage.
So let me ask you guys, honest question.
Okay.
They come on and they're like, hey, we're going to give you an option. You can get off the flight or you're going to get reimbursed full freight, but there is a snake on the plane that we know about.
Yeah.
Do you stay on board?
Where am I going?
In the cabin, or is it underneath?
They don't tell you. They don't know. Hey, we saw it. We can't find it.
Where's my destination? Where am I going? Am I going to somewhere tropical? Is this a work trip?
Okay, well, this is a lot of.
Well, I just need to know.
Okay,
Lance.
you're
You asked me a
going
question.
from Birmingham to Los Angeles. It's a direct flight.
We're gonna go.
I am too.
We're gonna go. I'm gonna get a free flight.
Yeah.
There's anywhere from 20 to 162 of us on the plane, and there's a chance that snake is as scared of us as we are of him, and he's going to stay somewhere else.
Yeah, probability. By the way, but
curveball.
Okay,
snake could bite the pilot.
No, he's not getting in the cabin. Now, if it comes up somehow,
That's
but
what
you've
I'm
got a
saying.
secondary. Like, to me, the snake's only going to get one person.
All right, snake bites the pilot. He immediately passes out. Co-pilot is scared. He bumps his head on the top. Now he's out. What you going to do?
I'm going to write that screenplay because
No,
that
then we
sounds
got a
like
problem.
Airplane the movie.
Then we got a problem.
That's
I think
right.
I would roll the dice and I would stay.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would too.
And finally, a recent advertisement recruiting, quote, wild men with a daily wage of $69 a person in a forest district in China has proved to be a hit online, attracting about 10,000 job seekers. Now, the advertised post is for a non-player character, more commonly known as actors or actresses, who can behave like wild men to provide an immersive and interactive experience for tourists.
Where are my job seekers at?
Now, the national park is famous for its legend of wild men who are said to approximately be 2 meters tall, covered in reddish-brown hair, move swiftly, and emit a sound resembling to a low woo-woo cry.
What kind of cry, Lance?
Woo-woo. According to the
My favorite
advertisement.
girls at the bar with the woo-woo girls.
You want him more of that woo?
That's an interesting looking character
Not
right
that
there.
woo-woo. Missing a tooth.
I did see, anyway, over 20 fan groups have already been established with 500 members, totaling 10,000 participants. Only 16 people will be recruited. Work period is from July to August with accident insurance offered, but those selected will have to arrange their own food and accommodations for, again, $69 a day. I did see the most dangerous job in the world that nobody wants is working a lighthouse off the coast of France. Have you seen this?
I have.
Why?
It pays $1.6 million a year, and they can't find anybody to do it because you can't get off. So you're isolated, and
I'm there 365, right?
Well, and because the waves crash in, it's supposed to be really dangerous. They say it's haunted, a couple of different things. I think I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, for 1 year for that kind of money?
I would do it in a heartbeat. But what the danger is the waves? They're going to kill me?
Waves and your mental health.
Yeah, you're just by yourself all the time.
Can you pull that
a year by
off?
myself?
Done away for
My
you.
God, I can make it a year by myself.
Oh, will you pull it for tomorrow's trash, Tyler?
Yeah.
We'll have it on tomorrow's trash.
Can I have a gun?
Well, you gonna shoot a ghost?
What are you gonna? There's nobody.
Are you
I'm
gonna
not
shoot
worried
yourself?
about. I'm not worried about ghost.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
That
You
would
don't
bother
have to
me.
worry about anybody getting to the island. Nobody's going to be there with you.
I mean, is it structurally sound? The waves are going to make it collapse, and then I'm going to drown because I'm a horrible swimmer.
Possibly.
There's that.
I would not go crazy by myself for
Robert
a year.
Eggers.
Oh yeah, watch the
Lighthouse. You guys would absolutely hate it.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going
not
to
gonna
watch
watch it
that.
then.
If I'm
Yeah.
going to stay there.
Yeah, but if you watch that before, you're like,
I'm going to an island. I'm not going to watch Shutter Island. You know.
They've shown flight on flights before, though, which is crazy.
I wouldn't watch it. I'd turn it off. That's trash today. By the way, Emmy nominations for Best Drama. The prediction to win is The Severance. I enjoyed that. I watched that.
Got too weird for me.
Weird show, man.
Second, The Pit. I loved that.
It's good.
White Lotus was third. Loved that.
It lost steam as it went.
I didn't like Andor. The Diplomat I enjoyed is fifth. I've never watched The Last of Us, but I hear it's great.
This season sucked.
Slow Horses I love. Seventh. Squid Game eighth. I've watched 5 of the 8. That's a rarity for me. All right, that's our show today.
Don't you watch on the golf course?
Yeah, of course. Between 107 swings. That's our show today. Don't forget, just dropping on our YouTube channel. Go straight over there and watch Emily Grace McWhorter's interview with Alabama DB Bray Hubbard. It is up for you. You don't have to watch it live. You don't have to watch it right now. Anytime at your convenience. You can go watch that all the way up until kickoff. It'll be there for you. Jeremy Bernard's already over there waiting on you with Emily Grace McWhorter. Those continue to matriculate out for you. Her time on the campus in Tuscaloosa. That's available for you now on the YouTube channel. And also the new Pennant Grace comes your way at 12:15 in about 13 minutes, where the LA Dodgers are on their longest losing streak since 2019.
It's a good Brewers team.
Pre-pandemic. All right, until next time, God bless you and God bless America.